It is that time upon us. It is the end of the year. The festivities are, well, the festivities have always been about us, but now they're really now. So buckle up. Here we go. Hello, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. It is the Biendeo stream today on this fine 23rd of December 2024, the last stream of the year. I hope you're having a wonderful week, and we'll have a wonderful week ahead of you, or 2 weeks, because I'm not going to be here next week. I'm going to be here on the New Year, because it's the week after Christmas and before New Year's. You gotta have a bit of time off. So we will have more bugs. The only bugs I want is to get the flies. That's it. So yeah. But yeah, on the last stream, we might as well dive into it, shall we? Here we go. Wow. There we go. But yeah, we're playing more Gex to finish off the year. I thought last week I would have a wonderful finale. Turns out you can't have a wonderful finale when, one, the Grease stage fly disappears from you just out of nowhere again. And this time you knew what you were up against. But also, when the Mafia stage does it twice? Did we have it twice or 3 times? We had it maybe 3 times. I'm going nuts. So we got, yeah, oh boy. But that's pretty much it. We just gotta nail the Mafia stage. We got one more stage left in the game, and then I think we're good. So it'll be a fairly short stream if there's a certain thing that I haven't, well, I've queued up at the end. So that'll take us on for a bit longer. Check this out as well. This It's Your Vault is open. This is where you put in your codes from the bonus stages. So there's a few interesting ones. You got like some debug settings, and you can play as the other characters, which don't really play any different, but we can show it off when we're done with everything. But yeah, to the funky town. Let's get this out of the way. Let's do this. Let's nail this. We can get this done first go, right? The Grease stage. It didn't even get done first go. But yeah, no. This week is being pretty chill for me. I've sort of ironed up the work I was doing at work, and turns out all the expectations that you have of like, oh, you know, you gotta do this, and this. Turns out when you're taking a bit of a holiday, you're just expected to get it all done, like all of it, just immediately. So we've done the bonus stage already. Actually, I don't know if we've done the bonus stage up on the ledge, but we gotta burn the piles of money after getting all the flies, and the money doesn't drop any flies, so we know what we're doing here. But yeah, time to get these flies and get the heck out of Dodge. I'm hopefully gonna pay close attention to everything since last week. A New Hope, exactly. So spoilers on what's to come. Since we really only have like this stage and then the full superhero stage afterwards, but like that's it, and then you got a final boss fight and we're sort of done. I did it Gex way. We're gonna check out the Nintendo 64 exclusive elements in the back half of this stream, which means there's the potential. Well, which means not Star Wars. No. The reason why I mention that is because actually, yeah, I didn't really have to at all. But I needed to prep the Nintendo 64 version to get up to the parts of the game that I needed to show off. And part of that, I was like, I'll get the 100 flies. Why not? No issues at all on any of the Nintendo 64 levels. I did not do the one level that we're going to play, or the bonus levels. There are exclusive bonus levels, so that will be interesting. There's no, I went through all the other stages in the Nintendo 64 version are virtually the same as this version. So there's really no big differences. There's a few texture changes here and there, but for the most part, there's no reason to re-show off like this level, for example, because it is exactly the same in the Nintendo 64 version. Other than, I did not have the objects, the flies disappear on me. So, that's fun. Like, I'm a little worried about that fly going off screen there. But, it seems okay for the moment, so... I can hit the barrel, although there's really no reason for me to hit the barrel. But yeah, no, we tried this stage twice, and didn't get the, yeah, do not let the flies escape. I unfortunately don't have a numerical counter of how many I really should be having as I went through the parts. I know we counted 36 by the roof, like we got to that, but I feel confident that it's like, well, you'd probably notice one missing as you know, as you go throughout the level. But hopefully we don't get any of it on this stage or the next stage, and it's smooth sailing. That's a fun lighthouse though. And you get parts like sometimes the fly collects itself for you, so you want to just mental note when you're you know, when a fly is just casually there. I don't know why. I looked up thinking that I had to get the bonus token still. This feels right so far, other than let's not cop it. Let's not die ahead of time. But yeah, how's everyone doing before the holidays are upon us? And it's the 23rd. You know, tomorrow's Christmas Eve. Like, we're there. We're basically there when it comes to the festive season. So make sure you got your prezzies in order. You know, arrange, you know, gatherings with your family and that kind of stuff. You probably already got that all ahead of time. See, that looks like it disappeared, but I'm pretty certain that just picked up. I have the stream open so I can see the last like 5 seconds as well, just to make sure in case anything happens. I think we're all good for now.
I'm out of order. You're out of order. This whole level's out of order.
Some level's out of order. Yeah, this is fine. Because I mentioned 36 on the roof. There's exactly 3 on the next roof. I know that.
Hey, yo, my friggin' name is friggin' Donnie Brasco.
Donnie Brasco. But yeah, because of that as well, the news is very quiet, which is a good thing, I guess. Because so many news during the festive season is always quite intense to follow. But no, things are pretty chill. In the world of technology, I mentioned the Intel B580 last week. I didn't actually go into any of its performance numbers or at all how it works. So I might as well mention that. So the Intel B580 in Australia costs $440. I believe it launched at 270, I think, US dollars. It could be 270 or 280. But the US doesn't include tax in that price. So you got your sales tax on top of that. Whereas for us, the 440 is got, you know, that's the tax. That's what we pay for. It's not as swell a deal. You can get a 4060 for 400 here. Maybe even less. Whereas in the States, it costs more. Which I always find kind of interesting is when things are priced differently. So I'm not really too sure. Oh, ouch. Not really too sure why there's a price difference there. But what about the performance of the card? Well, you get about 20% more performance than a 4060, which is fine and fair for a card that costs about as much as a 4060. The ray tracing is pretty decent.
My tail doesn't like
and the software stack and all that has been a lot more ironed out since last time, so it's launched in a fairly, yeah, it'd be recommended state, which is a good thing, because that was one of the biggest problems with Intel's first foray, was when the cards launched, there was a lot of hiccups. Some of it was just like software that could be patched, and some of it was actual, like, sort of, how would I say, shortcomings of how the hardware worked exactly. So you'd have things like it didn't actually have any capability for a native DirectX 9 stack. You can't run games in DirectX 9 native on it. You run games through an emulation layer, basically, or a translation layer, rather. And it was not the best. Some people actually found better performance by running their games through a Vulkan compatibility layer and invoking the card's Vulkan functionality, as opposed to relying on its onboard DirectX 9 compatibility. The fact that that actually does work is kind of bizarre. But these cards, at least from the things I've seen, I actually haven't seen too many people test out DirectX 9, which is weird, because it's like old games should be running alright. That should always be like a test people should have. Just like, give me like old games, because there's going to be a lot of people who will play just old games, and don't want to catch them out there. Maybe I'll have a better luck with the flies not despawning. Maybe I shouldn't mention it. I was going to say, if, you know, the game's been restarted. It seems kind of odd that that even happened in the first place. Since last week, Brown Man for reference is Akai. He's a Guitar Hero player. Just for people who don't know. He is the maddest lad. That like doing a full game FC scene, and not even like a how would you phrase it? A sequential full game FC? Oh, it says because it's a C with a little thing. Not Akai, Asai. I don't know. I've never heard him say his name out loud. To be fair, though, lots of people say my name wrong, so it should be par for the course for me to get other names wrong. That's exactly it. Yeah. GH2 Permadeaths. He did every single song. That's kind of like... Yeah, I won't even say like, that's kind of insane. It's actually insane to me, because I just feel like songs like Jordan and Trogdor are just absolutely like nuts to get. And even some other ones, I feel like there's a lot of choke spots. Freebird's always a natural, but I swear there was one other one in the career that was just like... I never grew up with Guitar Hero 2, so this is more just my like memories from this time last year, basically. Jordan, Trogdor, yeah. Well, I mean, well, granted, yeah. If you're gonna do them early. But it's the fact that you got to do them at least one before the other, and then also nail every other song, including Freebird, afterwards. Is he doing a hard restart of the whole game, or he can do any song in any order? So, like, does he have to do the career mode all in order? Now, I had a fly disappear from here, so I'm going to be a little extra careful up here. I just see the go off screen on the camera. Hi, I would like to not get hit from this angle, excuse me. Down. Using the mod, game gives him the fail screen. Ah! At least that's nice. But the game resets to 0. Alright, see, the fly did collect itself, and maybe that actually did happen last time. Maybe I did go nuts. Nah, it didn't happen. Oh, he's gotta earn the money for the bonus songs. Oh, so does that mean you gotta do a cheapo, like elephant bones before you get into it? I don't think elephant bones is the easiest of song to FC, but I've done it, so I can at least say that.
Tea and crumpets all round.
Tea and crumpets all around. Ah, yeah, surrender. Because Bang Your Head, it's just a long song. It's not the best one to start off with. Bang Your Head? What? Hold on, right, wrong game, sorry.
Hey, yo, I'm the
Can you tell I played 80s, like, much more recently? Start a Freebird. I mean, the fact that, like, you just do it in one stream as well is pretty, like, nuts as well. I could never do a stream where I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna nail this entire game absolutely perfectly, because I always feel like I've got so much, like, variability in how I play things. I mean, even, you know, like, he's a full-time streamer. A 9-hour stream is not too bad. Might kind of suck if you need, like, you know, pee break or take a thing, but, like, you know, if you do 9-hour streams, you gotta do that anyways.
Lights out. Night, baby. Yeah.
I have an intermission screen, it rarely comes up. Really? That exact one every time. Oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me. That exact same fish. Oh, I'm going nuts. I'm going nuts.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Dude, I found the comments of the recommended spamming the attack.
How do you like me now?
I guess, yeah. Like, I mean, I'll have to do it first next time. But yeah, it's just like... I mean, I might as well get the, I might as well get the actual remote I needed to get now.
I amuse you.
So which ones am I missing? That? Oh, did that... Is that the one, or did it respawn? Nah, I think that's the second one. Separate one.
Yo, this level looks like a friggin' fugazi. Yo, this level looks like a friggin' fugazi.
You know, like, potentially if it falls in the floor or whatever, you may be able to roll. Just get it by, like, hugging the floor. But I don't think so. But I am spamming the spin attack anyways. Problem is I'm just hitting the fish in the wrong spot, and the game is poopy poopy doo doo. Because that, yeah, this would be the one last fly if that one didn't fall on the floor. And there's no checkpoints in this level, so I can't even attempt to, like, try the re-roll. Yeah. No, and I've made the camera very close for some reason. It just does that. It just does that. Not sure why. Well, yep, let's get the actual remote and then cry on the inside because this says repeatedly happened. Oh, well. You know, as well, for the one Nintendo 64 bonus level, or you know, that exclusive level. Hold on, I'm not just missing a... No. For a second I was like, was that a safe in the corner of my eye? Nope. I'm very certain I hit all these pigeons, because they're not as hidden as they were in the, you know, the Western level is probably the one.
certainly are a master spy, sir.
You certainly are the master spy, sir. I'm not really the master spy if I have to constantly keep replaying these levels. Because the flies disappear. I cannot explain as well how I had a decent time, like, prepping. It's just on stream. That's the only time I've actually seen this ever happen. It's like, what's the one, like, Streamer's Curse? It's like, oh, weird things happen when you're not recording. Or alternatively, Streamer's Curse is like, all the weird things happen when you're recording. Or it was the Let's Player's Curse rather than the Streamer's Curse. It's always a curse. Commentator's curse. Chokes. Happens all the time. But at least I didn't die in the anime level first go. At least there's that. I get one mild flex.
Lock and load, little lizard.
Lock and load, little lizard. Except, 99 again. 99. Oh well. But yeah, no, Intel B580, it seems okay. There's a B570 coming out in January, mid-January. But before then, we're gonna have the CES, the Las Vegas Consumer Electronics Show, which always takes place in basically the first week of the year. It's like,
Someone tell Robert Stack I found his coat.
if you're releasing electronics for consumers to get, usually that's a big announcement point, and Nvidia has announced things before. Not in a while, I remember this year, they really didn't have anything for consumers. It's all just like big cloud, basically, and a couple of laptops. Like, yeah, sure, laptops are consumers, but like your whole consumer stack. Yes, the rise of RA Flash, yes. That'll be exciting to have retro treatments in Flash, or for Flash games, but yeah. Devil's in the details. I want to see it in a smooth system without doing anything too weird, too exotic.
Time to go postal.
But I think Flash games is a big market for that kind of stuff. I would love for somehow all of the Flashpoint kinds of engines, because I used to be like a big, how would I put it, like 2D games suck, 3D games are the best, and whenever there'd be a Flash game that plays with a 3D perspective, that would always blow my mind. And when there's a Shockwave game, or later on when Unity in the browser started being really a thing, I was like, yeah, this is the future, and then we proceeded to never get Flash games ever again. Or internet games in general. Never happened. All the licensed games dried up. They'd make all these mobile games, and now the mobile games are sort of drying up. Drying, not entirely gone. The other platforms would be... Yeah, the Flash ones would be the easiest ones, though. And yeah, there's not that many Shockwave games, like, in the grand scheme of things.
Swinging for the fences, baby.
The only thing with Flash games is that they effectively in a weird, how would I put it? Like, it is abandonware, or it's not abandonware. It's like, no, it is abandonware. As in, like, it's a piece of software that technically you don't quite have the legal means for reproduction, and no one reproduces them anymore. They are all lost to time. They've always been free, and you've never signed anything to play them. So, I'd probably say the best argument would be just like, well, you know, like you could always save page content. That's always been a thing that like you can do. You can archive the page content and be like, well, this website offered this. See, I got that fly just then at a distance.
Forget about it.
But you always gotta just keep an eye out whenever, like, these companies will sometimes want to just get people on the stupidest things, and it's like, Ruby K has a long time. Yeah, definitely. Like, I have enough faith that, like, you know, he'll probably see it through. But yeah, no, we'll see how it goes. Not a noob like me. I'm a noob. I'm trying out this freaking Python in the runtime, and I'm like, man, this is like way over my head because I have no idea how to start integrating that with everything. I'm just like, I got no clue. I could get something rough working, but the rough is not like I'd want others to use it. It's just like, kinda. The thing though with getting a program in a few days is that it's always and this is Biendeo rants about enterprise, but there's a huge misconception. We're gonna do the docs first, by the way, just because that seems to be where it's all happening, you know. But there seems to be a huge like problem in a lot of software projects where it's very easy to sort of ship on demos. What's the term? Yeah, like ship on MVP. And I know like MVP is like, oh, it's minimum viable, but like MVP is always a bit of a strict term. Very rarely do people in the like the industry actually, and this is more a calling out managers kind of thing rather than a like just people in general. But when a program is MVP, you have to go, this is viable. This is not like the least I can do in order to get a thing working. It is like a product. Hi, I would like to hit this guy. Okay. It still has to be a product. If it's like, oh, you know, like in order to release a game, we don't need any support mechanisms whatsoever. It's like, that doesn't... Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Viable means you can sell it. And that does mean that you can't skip the things that, you know, need to be done. You still have a set of criteria that you do want to eventually target. And just because you can get a working program, and therefore you tick some of the boxes, doesn't mean that every single box has been ticked. And that's an important thing for all software engineers to sort of, you know, remind yourself about, is that, yes, you can't just say, hey, you know, we showed off this one thing, therefore the thing is done. It's like, well, you know, sometimes you show it off and you're basically showing. You're kind of demonstrating that something works in a certain way, such that if they were to turn around and go, oh, you know, actually, I don't think we'd ever use it like that, then, well, okay, you haven't invested too much time to, you know, building that thing. Alright, so here's my problem, is that I keep trying to hit this guy here. I'm going to hit him on this angle. There you go. That looks a bit more fair, doesn't it? I wasn't even spamming the kick then. Well, yeah, because to take it to the nth extreme, it's like, it's very easy to then take forever on a project. And so there's a balancing act that needs to be done. What I mean is that it's very easy to layer on top of software complexity. And the biggest thing I see with... I should probably get some health as well, because I'm copping it. But the biggest thing that a lot of software struggles with is when the problem space begins to multiply. So, say for example, you know, like in this case, because it's like, oh, you know, the Flash tooling, basically the RA integration needs to be basically rewritten from scratch in order to integrate with the you know, with the website and the runtime and all that. That now means if I want to introduce a new language feature to RetroAchievement's, you know, integration, I actually need to double implement it across multiple places, which isn't the worst when the features are additive. When you're just like, oh, like appending features to a set, it's like, well, you know, nothing breaks if you haven't implemented it yet in the new system. But when it becomes a breaking change, or you want like everyone to start like using a brand new thing, you start getting into this problem where now you gotta somehow track two sets of things. Yeah. Like, this is not any digs on Rubicate. This is more a like, just because there's something proof of concept working right now does not mean it's gonna ship out in like the next week. It is really gonna be when all the T's are dotted and the I's are crossed. Yeah, I could very easily die right now. I've gotten everything in the water, but I should probably be grabbing some health, shouldn't I? the game's like, hey, yeah, 1 health. 1 health, bro. I know. There's plenty of health on this side of the level. You see what I mean? The camera's like going all over the place. I died internally 2 weeks ago in the grease level, and I haven't recovered. But yeah, can you tell that I have strong opinions about the Enterprise? I think that there's a lot of tendency for Enterprise software, not specifically singling out like whole companies or things that have happened, but it's just like, yeah, like it happens sometimes. Just things are rushed, and you basically get to this point. Actually, no, I sort of like put 2 and 2, and I was like, yeah, my work expected me to get like 3 weeks of work done in 1 week. But like, there's a lot of times when it's just like, all the stuff is basically hinging upon like a complex understanding of how all these like mechanics work together. I mean, as long as the flies don't clip through the ground, it's all good. I think, yeah, there were still flies up the top. But yeah, I'd be down for having a chat. I don't know if, you know, like, it'd just be between us or whether it's just me chiming into the chat. I'll probably have some more time to actually participate in those dev chats as well, because I've been very just like, my work's been hectic, and I've generally been able to switch off when I'm playing games, but when it's like doing retro chip and stuff, it's like, oh my gosh, more dev work, and it's like, yeah, I just prefer to tune out, so that's why, So that's why I've just been kind of just taking it a bit chill. We can always have a three-way. Maybe? Because I guess you can't chat in chats, but yeah.
How about I shove my foot right up your shoe?
My foot up your shoe. But yeah, Nvidia CES is coming up, and the big rumors are of what will be the RTX 5000 series, the brand new Blackwell architecture graphics cards from Nvidia. And the long story short is, first of all, every single time they've announced new generations of consumer graphics cards, it's always been either the 80 card or sometimes once the 90 card came out first. So if you ever wanted to buy anything cheap, no, it's not happening, at least in the first like few weeks. Maybe a 5070 will come out in like a month or two. Maybe. People also think, oh, okay. If there's one catch, there's the hold on, what's the name? Hold on, I'm actually gonna pause just so I can get the name of the Nvidia Jetson Orin Nano Super. So basically, there's a little I'm not gonna call it Raspberry Pi, but there's like a little, you know, small system that you can buy from Nvidia for $250 US, which is a lot cheaper than the previous generation version, which was $500 US. Hopefully Blueberry Pie. There's actually banana pies and rock pies, because I guess the pie name isn't actually, even though it's spelt with a PI, that's not trademarked. You could sell that yourself. The banana pies are actually pretty neat if you want to build like your own like cheap router. By the way, they're pretty cool.
Hey, yo, I'm the Teflon Gecko.
That is true. That is true. But it's never written as the Greek letter. It could be just stylized. You know, it's like how the watch brand Omega. Oh my gosh. No. Oh wait. Oh yeah. Hold on. There we go. No, we're good. We're good. I got it.
Eat this.
It didn't fall to the floor, so that made it a bit easier. Okay. Phew. Whew.
My tail says hello.
My tail says hello. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the watch brand Omega is trademarked, and I'm pretty sure there's probably some other ones.
I amuse you.
That happened last week as well, but I didn't make as big a deal about that. But I was like, oh.
How about I shove my foot right up your shoe?
The fact it has repeatedly been happening makes me a little just very nervous. But yeah, no, the Jetson Orin Nano Super, it's a development kit, and it's mostly geared towards building a, like a cheap AI solution for robots. So basically, it's got a Nvidia Tegra Orin in it, and I think it's got 8 gigs of VRAM on it. I'm not sure. I think it's an SoC. It's an SoC, so it's an ARM-based chip. You can do ARM-based things with that. Other than that, though, sky's the limit. You got your computation on it. So yeah, go for it. 250 actually seems pretty neat for like a board that you can test out with. But the big thing is, as you know, the Nintendo Switch also runs on a Tegra. It's not an Orin. It's an older one, I believe. But the Orin is from 2022, I believe. It's an Ampere-based graphics card, which is interesting that they didn't go with Ada. Connected 100%. This is the Switch hardware. This is not exactly a Switch developer kit. I'm not too sure if the number of cores. I saw someone claim that perhaps the Switch will have 50% more cores than what this thing does, which is actually quite interesting. The Switch also has a much lower power target, so perhaps that actually balances out. But yeah, no, they're both system-on-chip Nvidia Tegras, and 100% this is going to be the exact same architecture that's in the Switch. Like, 100%. The Switch 2, sorry, in particular. So, which it's most likely just going to be, yeah, like an architectural successor to the Switch 1. So they're both Tegra-based devices. Nothing really too weird going on there. There's a fly in the jump. So we're set. As powerful as a PS4, actually, the easy thing, there we go, by the way, we are done. Go to map, we are done. Hold on, let me check as well. The PS4, I believe, was as powerful as like a 2070 when that came out. Yeah, that's it, and I don't even have to finish the stage, I could just be like, yeah, no, we're done. Because you get the remote right away, we're at 45, yeah. Okay. And just to really confirm as well, my 3 goons, we're done. We're done. This stage is over. Did I do that bonus? I didn't do that bonus. Interesting. Okay. Someone's gonna yell at me if I don't do that bonus.
That was amazing, sir.
Hi, I would like to get off that. But hold on, list of Nvidia GPUs. I just get the Wikipedia list because they've got the Tegras on this list, so you can look up the Tegra. And they've got the. Actually, they don't really have the great Tegra in this list. Actually, sorry, not Tegra. What's it? Yeah, no, it is Tegra. I'm just blanking on the name. But please don't crush. No, we're good. But yeah, if you scroll to it's this stage again, by the way. It's the same stage every time. But the only difference is you get 30 fewer seconds on each incarnation. I don't even find the other bonus stage that I haven't done any harder than this. Oh, that's the one perilous part. And you do get your extra bit of time up here as well. It's worth it though. And then you got 4 at the top. Switch to being PS4 level. Oh, what I'm doing is that I'm comparing the Tegra with the Ampere GPU that it's equivalent to, and then you can basically just do your desktop performance based on that. Because what we need is our relation with the desktop processor. I know the power is going to be a bit different, so it'll be all over the place. But looking at the laptops. Oh, sorry, not laptops. The desktops. Here we go. RTX 30. Yeah, it is stripped down compared to a 3050. I don't think it's going to be 2070 levels at all. So I think the 2070 was, you know, like roughly probably a 3060 is close. I think maybe it was more a 3060 Ti in reality. I don't think a 3060 was actually that great a GPU. People in hindsight love it for the 12 gigs of VRAM, but I think the slower memory bus is absolutely killer compared to the 3060 Ti in that same gen, and especially the GDDR6X versions. If anyone finds those GDDR6X versions, those cards hold up fairly decently for what they are. I like them. Yeah, I don't think it's a 2070 competitor, because if, like, from memory, if the 3060 was as powerful, the 3060 has 3,584 CUDA cores. This thing, well, the one... Whoop. Controller unplugged. That's why I paused. Also, we get to use this properly in this level. I like this level. People hate this level. I like it. It's good fun. But yeah, this thing's only got 1,024. Even if the rumors of the Switch 2 having 50% more than that, that's still only 1,536. Thank you, camera clipping through the building. Yeah, this level's pretty involved, though. It's like, it's pretty peak.
I'm here to save the day, but I'm soft and I cried.
Very nice. Very nice. This level has a lot of pits, but it also has a lot of checkpoints, so don't worry about it. This is also going to be one of the first levels, or actually the first level, because it's the last one, where I'm actually not going to go for the 100 flies first. We're actually just going to get one of the flies right away. This is the only time that you can spit green. I don't know why it's green. But yeah, you got a lot of these buildings you can climb up, and then you're gonna have, as a major point in this level, the little strength, the Electro Gex superpower. So if you're Electro Gex, you can break open these safes, and there'll be these pores inside most of the safes, actually all the safes. Other than that, though, this level's very neat. I like it. So spitting at those little lifts here give you the ability to actually, like, you know, navigate across this. It is possible to do this without making these lifts go up and down, but you basically have to do a... Yeah, no, the evil cats. Right in front of the Gap genes, or Gex genes. But yeah, that's one remote, and I always just love activating that right away, and then you just do just a bit of a kick dive. Just you land on this building, and then you're over here. And the remote's right here. I like nailing that one just first. Just, why not? Why not? Just get that right away. If you're going for the speed run, you basically want all the quick remotes you can get.
Maybe a little. By the way, am I rescued yet?
Well, I'm still working on that.
Well, call me back when I'm about to be saved.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, no, oh, okay, what about the PS4 Pro? I actually don't know what's the performance of the PS4 Pro off the top of my head, but I'd probably say, yeah, most likely your performance is going to be about, somewhat quite under the 3050. And that is going to let people down, but I don't think it's that bad, because, one, low power, so generally you just gain some wins out of being on a handheld anyways, and two, you're on an Ampere, which means you do get, I know some people are a little mixed on this, you do get a little bit of an upscaling solution that actually works a bit better. I'd probably say maybe it's close to the PS4 Pro. It may be beating the PS4 Pro. I don't actually know how well the PS4 Pro performs. So this cat will ruin your day. So this is a justified murder. Alright, we're actually going to go for 100 flies now. But yeah, this one's not too bad. One, because there's not a lot of enemies. Like, flies aren't going to drop and disappear. And then also, there are a lot of checkpoints, so we should be pretty good throughout most of the stage. But you are going to see a lot of these weird ledges, and what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to sort of take the level as it is, and then we'll come back for all the goodies. And you'll see why in a bit of time.
Elliot Ness tried to grab my untouchable.
Fortunately, these flying TVs, I don't believe have... Nah, they don't have flies. The walking ones do. They have so many. Oh my gosh. Yeah, maybe the PS4 Pro's performance, not the PS5. But yeah, the PS5 without, well, it does have a ray tracing solution, but yeah, it's pretty mild. There's a good meme going around where it's like the PS5 Pro has like, you know, increased performance, but when you play a game and you put it in like a frame rate mode, it's like sometimes you still don't hit 60 FPS, and it's just like, why are we at this point where we still don't get that? I might go a little quick here, because I need to run around here, and you need to make sure you're Electro Gex, because otherwise you won't be able to break that statue.
This is gonna be sweet.
That spit power lasts so long, there is no reason that lasts a minute 30. I mean, the PS5 Pro is impressively better, but it's not enough impressively better. It's like 30 to 40% better than the PS5, but it goes to show that games are so unoptimized these days. They legitimately do not look that much better than previous gen games, and you know, like, I think legit well, yeah, it costs a lot more as well. $900 US, or actually, I think it's actually like 1,400 Australian. Hold on, let me get an Australian price for you. How much is a PS5 Pro right now? 1,200. Okay, no. Maybe. 1,300? I would say 1,200 Australian. That's still an insane amount. That's still a fairly high amount for how little... a little jittery there. I love how when the buildings have their lights on, that means you can climb on it as well. I like this level design though, it's good fun.
How do you like me now?
Just get these fun parts where you're just crawling over gaps. It's very neat. And you'll love how this level, you know, works in a bit. Watch out for the wall spiders though. It's not even the first level with wall spiders.
Night, night, baby. Yeah.
The evil rats definitely get to me though. But yeah, I love how you keep like getting up onto these higher ledges and things like that just to find lives. How many lives is too many? Can we get the funny number as well? Yeah, good old high-rise buildings. I love just verticality in any kind of 3D platformer, and this level does it for me, so... these flies get a little annoying if you miss them, so... Hi there. There we go. But yeah, so keep an eye out on people actually testing this Nvidia Orin Super Duper whatever, the Jetson. Also check out this guy. He banes out on you.
Nap time.
You've got to destroy all three of them just to naturally continue the level as well, which is quite interesting. I like this turnaround you could do as well here.
Elliot Ness tried to grab my untouchables.
Thank you, Gex. I'm gonna miss him.
Split attack is useful, but the bomber can only be killed using his own bombs.
Why do they make the spit attack last a minute 30? It doesn't need to last that long. It's only used right at that one part. There we go. Hit the checkpoint. Another Bane monster. It can be used against enemies too, but why would you? I like how this thing doesn't open. It's because I missed one of them somewhere. I'm gonna do my pro strat. This is a pro strat. The checkpoint is right there.
A little more patience next time, I think, sir.
Oh, okay. For some odd reason, when I was playing through on the Nintendo 64 version, that door opened up purely because I died. But yeah, I would have missed this guy on some ledge somewhere. Oh, I know exactly where. It's not as too bad to get back. Not that guy. Listen, I have the strength power up, and he's still, you know, taking hits.
Sir, that was amazing,
There you go. So once you killed all three, these doors open up. So yeah.
Dateline Broadway, where the footsteps of geckos tap with the rat-a-tat-tat of a Tommy gun.
But yeah, keep an eye on this thing. You'll probably gauge Switch 2 performance with that. If people play games, because they are ARM-based, and I don't know if there's an easy, just like pretend you're a Switch kind of setting to turn on these things. Given that the existing one is also, you know, a Tegra, I probably am not expecting, you know, like anything to just come out of this one thing. But just get some benchmarks and you'll gauge how it performs, and perhaps some people will turn it into an actual productivity machine or something like that. I think it's a cool piece of hardware. Really though, we are expecting an Nvidia 5080 definitely to be announced at CES, because remember, it's been you know, like the Nvidia cards that came out before was October 2022. It's a bit ago. We did have the supers. We did have the super cards top up everything, so that's nice. But ultimately, you know, close to the end. We are close to the end. This is the final level. So here's the fun part about this level. Once you've defeated those guys, you get this flying power up, which we had in the last hub. This doesn't wear off. This lasts the entire rest of the level. And this is why I like this level a lot, because it's secretly a Spyro the Dragon level. So now we can fly around and collect all these flies all over the place. If I hear the word fly, I swear. But no, so we're gonna G-Money Bank. But now you can use this opportunity to get all the missing flies on all these weird little ledges that you couldn't get to before, because now there's not really much risk of, you know, copping it when you can just fly. And you can see, yeah, like, they've been hiding them all down here and all this, but keep your eyes peeled as well, because the bonus coins and the paws are a bit tricky to find on this level. Yeah, it's more like gliding. It's falling with style. But most of the buildings can be climbed, which is good fun. And generally, once you even got this, even if you push your way down to the bottom parts of the level, there's still a decent opportunity to climb back up in lots of places. Watch out for these dudes, though. There are 5 of them, and that's where one of the remotes is. And yeah, you'll find more safes like this, but you'll also find the booths in very odd places in this level. And it's weird, there's no extra, like, screens. There's no, like, hidden rooms or anything in this level. It's very just out there. Just, yeah, watch the gaps every time you jump. And also remember, when you're super strong, you can't fly. So you sort of have to let it wait before you jump into it. That's it, so... So the rumors of the 5090, and I'm not they'll probably announce it at the same time. I'm not sure if it'll release first, but it'll probably be announced at the same time. The 5090 is going to blow people's socks off, most likely. And I am genuinely surprised, because the 3090 was very significantly better than the not the 2080 Ti, actually, the Titan RTX, because that was the last time I used the word Titan, right? And then I was very surprised to see it again with the 4090 just be like an absolute massive leap, like 70% in rasterized performance. I'm not sure if this will be 70% again, but the rumors are pointing to maybe 50, which is still a very neat upgrade. But Nvidia, for all their generosity, I like how I wandered all the way back there to get the power up instead of just literally right here. It was here the whole time. It is a bit hard to visualize. I'd imagine it's like a H, and you start like bang on in the middle. That's how I envision it. So I'm sort of in like the southwestern part of the H. It is a tricky level to visualize at first though, and especially with all these buildings, it's very easy to turn yourself around and suddenly like, you just don't know where you're looking. There's a cheeky, yeah, you'll probably spot it. Turn right Albuquerque, exactly.
Wasn't the super guy costume available?
Yeah, there's a very cheeky bonus coin chilling right... Well, that's a paw, but sure, yeah. A paw that's not in a safe.
The tick retired.
Also mentioning the tick. Very nice. This guy's just me IRL. But yeah, 5090 is looking pretty good, but expect the price to legitimately be like $2,000 or potentially even more. It could very well be more, because this is the Halo product. There is a ledge here, fortunately. Unfortunately, there is another statue right here. Oh, I just got it. And there's also more flies, because why not?
Wasn't the super guy costume available? I guess the tick retired.
But yeah, like... the 3090 was already a Halo product. People really shouldn't have been buying it for games, and I do think it's a little irresponsible of game reviewers, like, or not, like hardware people basically ever saying that it's much of an option, because it's like, yeah, it's technically the best, but like, I didn't take my own advice. I apologize.
A little more patience next time, I think, sir.
I went for it, and I was like, oh yeah, I can't glide. Because I still had the power. That one's entirely my own fault. Entirely bad. All the dudes still die, so in theory I could just get this. But... yeah, might as well. Might as well. Save it for the end. Might as well. We'll do one last round and we'll get all the items in that one. I mean, I didn't have to redo the whole thing, but I sort of picked up a bunch of stuff and I was like, well, I'm gonna have to explore there anyways at some point, so might as well just get the remote and move on. But yeah, really what people should be getting, well, actually, sorry, what people should be getting is how much money they're willing to, you know, spend on things, and the 5090 is insane. I still like the 4060, albeit with Australian pricing. US pricing, where it's still $300, is very insane. I hate that the 4060 Ti is not very good for the price bump that you have to pay on top of that. I hate that the 4060 Ti 16 gigs exists because it just rarely comes up. And when it does come up, it's like, oh, look how great this card is. But it's like, I don't think it's worth the price difference just to get the performance that perhaps you expect, because I sort of pin it on the PS5 Pro of Nvidia. The 4060 Ti 16 gig, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not... yeah, like... the VRAM argument, I've gone over this like a ton of times. Also, for reference, the rumors are that the 5090 will have 32 gigs of memory, whereas the 5080 will only have 16 again. I thought that's curious, because I thought the move is going to be to GDDR7, and GDDR7 comes in 24 gigabit modules. So we should be able to have higher capacity modules for the same, you know, space, basically. You don't need to worry about fitting in Also, excuse me? I've got 2 timers going on. Excuse me,
I
game?
feel like I'm in West Side Story.
Why did that run out so soon? What? They juked me. That's kind of annoying because the superpower's all the way back here. The strongman's back here. Fun fact, in the beta of the game... Whoa. It is a little easy to get yourself stuck down the side. In a prototype of the game, Gex was just the Hulk, as opposed to Electro Gex. There's actually a lot of fun things in that prototype. I'm not giving that a go right now, but I do have an idea for a stream where I go through some game prototypes for games that I've already played through. I thought that'd be neat, but I need to have a whole stream's worth of content for that. Oh, for the prototype set? There is a shocking amount of, like, content in it, but it's not really that different. I don't think it warrants too much of needing a whole separate set just for that. Maybe eventually.
Warriors, come out and play.
I think there's actually 3 prototypes. I think they were part of the Project Deluge dumps. If I remember from ages ago. Yeah. My opinions on the VRAM, because I know this comes up every single time, is that I think 8 gigs is generally okay, but it does, you know, there are some games where it's like, oh no, I can't turn the settings very up. And that is fair. You do need more VRAM to deal with that, but I would also then say, hey devs, literally 8 gigs of VRAM is like the bare minimum for new cards, let alone old cards. There's people with 2060s who are just completely left out. There's people with 2060 Ti's completely left out. There's people with 2070s and 2070 Supers left out. Like, because 8 gigs is not enough for what they're trying to pull off. Like, so many, you know, people are basically having to be upsold. I hate breaking that one tile, because now it's like... Oh, that's why... Yeah, file sizes are easy. Storage is now cheap again. Somewhat. When it relies on other parts of hardware. Granted, though, I did upgrade my server. I finally did it. So I actually picked up a 5950X for 440 Australian dollars, which is probably, you know, it actually is like 280 US. And then 128 gigs of RAM for 360 bucks. And I'm like, that's the max that could ever do. Like, that socket. I'm not running it right now. That's not my desktop. That's just for the server. I also didn't get that one guy just chilling back there. Whoops. Every time. And then I jumped off a cliff. That's just a me rip. Padding, yeah.
I'm getting my fill of TV.
That was my own doing, yeah. I say this level's not too bad, and then I just make, like, silly errors like that all the time. Here's the thing, you technically don't even need to be on that ledge. You could just skip it. You could skip it. You only need to go there for the cat. I think the reason is I'm rushing for the statues, and then I just casually like just ignore that one guy. I love the Gex genes though. It's great. Hold on, I'm gonna get that statue, and then we'll just turn around for that guy just so I've got him. There we go. We're good. We're good. But yeah, no, I think that unoptimized performance is an absolute killer. I think a lot of people can afford the file size, and I actually think that file size is actually nowhere near as rough over time. I remember seeing like one of the new Call of Duties got up to like 270 gigs. The Medal of Honor VR game that came out in 2021 or 22 was 320. And I've yet to see a game that surpasses that, other than, you know, some people are going to say, oh, Ark Survival Evolved, and I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, there's going to be games that are just like that. And, yeah, if your game's stretching into the 300 gigs region, you're doing something wrong, because your assets are not really that big, are they? Hopefully. But things like compression are definitely a lot better as well. We seem to be able to decompress content a lot easier. I don't actually know if lots of games are using direct storage, the interface Microsoft put in. I remember Forspoken included that, and I have no idea if anyone actually uses it or just optimizes their storage a bit better. But the performance is gnarly, and VRAM is insane, because I think that there's so many games that don't look as good as, you know, older games. I think I forever cite, like, Bioshock Infinite as a really good-looking game, despite at least being targeted for the Xbox 360. Arc is legitimately, I think it does stretch into, like, 380 gigs when you've got the content. It's, yeah, and on top of that, it doesn't run well. There's probably other games, like, most likely you could have, like, Train Simulator use up all the storage because train lines are meticulously detailed and not copy-pasted. Payday 2 used to be in the 200 gig region until they realized how many of the art assets didn't have to be duplicated. They had a big thing where, like, every stage had to be packaged on its own. And that meant that when they updated, like, a trash can in 5 stages, that meant all those stages had to be updated. Fine on paper, not great in practice. Do we have terabyte? I don't think we have terabyte-sized games yet. And for the most part, I don't think storage demands have really pushed up to insane amounts, but solid-state drives have gotten a lot cheaper these days. You can definitely pick up, you know, like 2 terabyte drives for pretty decent prices, or even 4 terabyte drives for decent prices. And we're starting to see, like, 8 terabyte drives start to be a little bit more mainline produced, maybe? There's things like the SN850X, which has an 8 terabyte version. On top of that, I believe Seagate announced they'd be making 30 and 32 terabyte hard drives for the consumer space. SSDs, 8 terabytes, yeah. And for the enterprise space, just note, we do have 122.88 terabyte SSDs already. We're already in that space. In the U.2, I think it's U.2. But in that 2.5-inch form factor, which is insane that that thing can have so many little tiny bytes. Like, a part of me feels like we'd probably approach the atom limit at some point, because 122... It's not even trillion, it's actually quadrillion. Actually, is it trillion? No, it is trillion. You can get a... I'll do a tab out, hold on. Not a tab out, but staticice.com.au. Not sponsored, by the way. They just run a good site, I like it. 4 terabyte SSD. Absolute cheapest one I saw is the Clev 4 terabyte Crass C910, 279 Australian dollars. So that's probably like 180 US, maybe. And that's for a 4 terabyte. Speed, honestly, isn't mattering that much for. Yeah, and they're all M.2s as well, which is kind of interesting in the space. I wish there were more like SATA drives available, because I would actually love to start using SATA replacements for hard drives in some places, but or just get one of those little Silverstone like 2.5-inch, because you can get like an enclosure where it's like it fits in the 5.25-inch bay if you've got one of those, and you can put 4 2.5-inch drives in there, just in one singular enclosure, which is nice. So if you've got 2 of them, which my server case does, because I don't have a rack. Higher space, SSD 122.88 terabytes in enterprise right now. Actually, I don't think it's a sold product yet. I think it's a shown off product. I don't think it's marketable just yet. Let me double check. But yeah, 122.88 terabyte. I don't think hard drives ever get that large. I think the largest hard drive may actually be the 22 terabyte Exos until that 30 and 32 terabyte one got announced. And hard drives will still forever be cheap. If that 32 terabyte gets released for the same price as, you know, the 22s before it, hey, that's a win still. And because you'll be, you know, they'll be making those at a lot cheaper of a price than the solid state drives ever will. Oh, there it is. I was like, there's bound to be a checkpoint just chilling somewhere, right?
I recommend a chicken costume to glide to new heights, sir.
That's right, he calls this the chicken costume. So in theory, I've got a HBA that can fit 16 hard drives. Also, I guess these SSDs are not like SATA as well, or SAS even. They're most likely using U.2 or U.3 or even E1. Hey, you thought I was killing myself here. Look at that.
Top of the world, Ma.
I like how they chucked the little checkpoint over there as well. Wow. Whoops. Yeah, they get storage, like SSDs are getting more and more, you know, lucrative price-wise. I think a lot of people would be very willing to spend 200 and something bucks on Australian on a 4 terabyte SSD as opposed to a 4 terabyte hard drive, which they haven't gotten really much cheaper hard drives at the low end. They're still kind of pricey. You can get really good enterprise drives for a fairly good price, but for the 4 terabyte range, or anyone just not wanting to spend 250, I mean, you could probably do it. You could actually buy like yeah, use like, or not use, factory refurbished Exos drives for like 250 Australian if you're looking in like the right places. I think it was at East Digital. East Digital, we're pretty notorious on OzBargain. Have a store, and you could just, yeah, you could just buy your refurbished drives for 250 Australian for a 16 terabyte hard drive. Maybe even cheaper now. Who knows? This one you have to, how do I put this? This fan turns really on just casually after you've defeated that guy. That allows you to grab this bonus coin. Isn't it weird that like this stage has effectively the same boss as the first level? Just chilling there.
The warriors got Cyrus.
And then you'll spot this bonus coin chilling down here. Nice. Nice. Secretly, I will kill myself a lot in this stage. I like this stage. Also me, this. But that's what I mean, is that there's so many checkpoints, and it's kind of refreshing having a stage have checkpoints all of a sudden. Good thing the boss is still dead, and good thing there was only bonus coin over there, I think. I'll double check. I didn't get this bonus coin though. Yeah, you only had the bonus coin. Hold on, let's do a rotate. First try. There's also this little secret. If you ride this fan all the way up again, and then you glide in this direction, there's another bonus coin. I think that's it for the bonus coins. Yeah, 45. That's every bonus coin in the whole game. And I've also only got one Paul left. I bet you it's that one. I sort of just accidentally get them in this level. I swear, I don't struggle with navigating this level. I don't know. It just feels natural to me. And then I immediately blank out on getting that. Because I'm like, oh yeah, the other direction. Or it was here. Never mind, it was there the whole time. I got that one. Alright, so we're just getting flies now. can't hurt. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I guess the chick retired.
We got the save, we got the save, we're good, we're good. Yeah, all these flies chilling up here.
Super guy costume available?
But yeah, no, storage is cheap. I guess while I'm talking about all other kinds of hardware, what should you get, I guess, if you're buying stuff? Because you missed Black Friday, but you're thinking, well, there's got to be good deals any other time of year. And the answer is yes, actually. Black Friday, sometimes doesn't have the all-time lows. Sometimes it's just the price goes up, and then it goes down a little bit. And they'll say that's a discount. And, you gotta be a little careful. Look for all-time lows rather than just specifically a sale on at the moment. Generally, the things that I've seen are, in Australia at least, it should be illegal, but sometimes it is just market reaction. Like, for example, the 4090 for now is currently 3,600 Australian, which is significantly more expensive than its $2,959 starting price. But at some point, if they ever say there's a sale, I think they can maybe get away with saying that it's 3,200 on sale, despite the fact that it has been cheaper before. It is illegal to be directly caught doing that, like, in anticipation of a sale. But I don't know if, like, naturally, if everyone's been raising their prices for the past, like, few months. You know, there's a lot of reasons. I don't know, though. It does seem a bit anti-consumer to me, actually. There's probably a swell reason. Or something, I don't know. But yeah, no, 4090 is insane. Just don't even. Not for that price. The real deals I've seen are most likely around the 7900 GRE, I think. I've seen, and I might as well just get some PC part picker prices while I'm in it. PC part picker. Graphics cards.
Super guy costume
Super
available?
guy costume.
I'm chafing.
But I'm pretty certain I saw 7900 GRE 879 or the 7800 XT for just under 700 Australian. And that seems pretty nice because you're still competing with kind of expensive Nvidia equivalents for some reason. So that's neat. I do like the 4070 Super. It's a decent card. It's a pretty good... Actually, sorry. It's a pretty good card for what it is. I like it. Yeah, 4060 is a bit... 4080 is a bit... 4080 has been the same price it's been for, like, quite a while, so... Not really any harm in getting that, but I'd probably say... lean AMD, unless you're going for a 4070 Super. I think that's generally the best value card that they've had this gen. The whole gen, really. 98. Where's the 2 I'm missing? It's not despawn. I can guarantee that. It's just chilling somewhere. It's probably right at the beginning. I wandered right past that beginning section when I died. Maybe? Maybe it's on the higher ledge. But yeah, as for processors, the general wisdom... Yeah, they're bound to be somewhere. Because there's really not that many enemies for them to disappear on. And could be that guy, actually. Probably did get this guy, though. Yeah, probably, yeah.
I feel like I'm in West Side Story.
Most likely you'll just see a ledge and there'll just be like 2 of them there, so just keep your eyes peeled. They do have a nicely high draw distance, but again, when you play Spyro the Dragon, you get spoiled, because Spyro the Dragon, they render, or at least the sparkle renders everywhere. You will see that sparkle no matter where you look. I've been wandering over here a bit.
And now for my...
Yeah, despite being a fairly complex level, and especially having all this verticality, it's actually quite easy to track and follow around this level. I don't know. I just don't find it's that, like, annoying. It's nice and chill. Like, yeah, I've been dying a bit, but there's checkpoints. It's fine. If there were no checkpoints, I'd be a bit upset. And I'd honestly argue that maybe some of the other levels should also have at least one checkpoint. Because it does kind of get a bit annoying on those ones. Like here, it's like, oh, you know, I've just hit my checkpoint, so if I ever die, I'm back at 98. I am struggling to spot it, though, I'll tell you that. It's a very fun, rewarding final level, though, I'll tell you that.
Warriors, come out to play.
Oh, there you go. One. Okay, that's not fun. One.
I guess the chick retired. Wasn't the super guy costume available? I guess the chick retired.
Just gonna keep looking off ledges and things like that. Also, shout out Spyro 3 with the Sparks radar, just in case. Although I never found
Gecko
ever needing that. I never found I actually needed the Sparks radar in Spyro 3. I didn't use it in the playthrough, and the first time I ever played the game, I actually didn't do the Sparks levels until after every other level. So I never even had it until basically I was done. Levels in that one just make sense. Cough, cough.
That's no hobo, that's a man, baby.
Yeah, your man, baby. This wasn't just hiding around here and I just really didn't see it. Now I'm starting to feel I've done a few laps of this place and I still haven't spotted it. It's a very tall level when you think about it. That's 4 different, like, levels that these buildings are on. Also, Gex in the sky. Very nice. Yeah, probably. Could be on these, because I've sort of abandoned hitting these. Oh my gosh, I've been slurring my words today a lot. I apologize. It's the heat, most likely. Forever hot indoors. No aircon. Always gets to me.
The warriors got Cyrus.
And before we secretly despawned one of the flies. I got a feeling though that it's probably just in the earliest sections on a wall. I've just been like seeing past it. I don't see it at all here. I mean, we could do a fly around with the camera aimed at the wall just to ensure. Nah, I don't see it. What? Just for confirmation, is it at the start? We're not gonna have despawning flies on the final level, please. I'm not going to be very happy about this constantly happening, is it? Why? Why? Why is this?
Elliot Ness tried to grab my untouchables.
Oops. 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 I'm good. The pain never ends. Exactly. Exactly. As a reminder as well, Gex 2 has a unlimited number of tokens in each level. If you die, the number of things continues. All the enemies respawn and will drop the item again. So some of the levels you actually do sort of have to die just to reload the coins. Then I think the game starts targeting like 120 or 150, but it's like, oh, they respawn, it's fine. I'm getting kind of nervous now. No way would it disappear, right? Wherever it was? I'm most likely just missing a ledge or something. Or just like a part on this wall where there's a fly and we've just been looking at it for so long and I've completely blocked it out of my vision. No way. I'll ramble on about processes and I'll probably just stumble across it, but I don't know, I sort of feel like I've looked everywhere. I'm not exiting the level, there's no reason to, but... It's not hiding behind objects, it wasn't on the Nintendo 64 version, which I did with a breeze! Can't believe I had no problems there, so... so on the processor front, both AMD 9000 and Intel 200s, both expensive. Don't consider them. Instead, just buy last gen. For Intel, it's been the same performance for a while, or even worse. I love seeing the back of the building here as well. For AMD, the 7000s do pretty much nearly as well, so you might as well just go for those. They fit in the same sockets and everything. For the new Intel, it's like, well, you know, it's a dead-end platform, but it's also like, who cares, because the Intel 200s is most likely dead-end as well, because that was meant to be the second gen on a socket, and they ended up cancelling the first one, so, And then for motherboards, general rule of wisdom is just you get what you need. Don't overspend on all these fancy features and things if you're never going to use it. Connectivity, for example, is like, you know, if you have one or even maybe two solid-state drives and a graphics card, virtually every board basically supports that, so don't worry too much about getting anything fancy, or don't worry about needing to get like full ATX, because it's just like, oh, you're never gonna need it. I actually nearly got bit out on my on the new 5950X as well. Well, it's new for me, because the by4, oops, whoop, okay, we're good. The by4 PCIe slot turns off when the second M.2 slot is used up, and I was like, I need that because otherwise I can't have graphics, network, and also the extra the extra storage I'm putting in through an add-in card in an M.2 slot, and yeah, I sort of had to wing it without the storage, and then guess that it would work, and then basically try to sub out the graphics card and hope that it booted up fine. And apparently a lot of AM4 boards.
Get the super coupe, Brad.
Yeah, maybe. I keep bouncing all the time, which doesn't help as well.
I'm chafing.
So you had the bonus coin here, or the paw.
Get the super coupe, Brad.
I can't imagine where there's like one singular fly like left over though. That's always a cheeky spot, but yeah.
We got a situation here.
I swear though that we've looked everywhere. I can't. Oops. Don't think I hit a check. Yeah, okay. I dropped one fly because that was the one. We know where that one is. Listen, if it needs to be off an enemy respawning, then there you go. You know, might as well give it a go. I don't recall them.
I guess the tick
Also, was that off the top of my head? Like I just spotted something just then.
I'm chafing. Wasn't the super guy costume?
I'm just going nuts. I'm going nuts. Every stream of Gex, it's always You're missing flies, you're missing flies. It's always that. We'll never be able to get away with it. I'll be seeing flies in my dreams. Yeah, I don't recall this ever dropping a fly, and I know that there's ones on the other ledges, so we might as well target those. Okay, sure. Those rats mean serious business.
A little more patience next time, I think, sir.
Get the super coop, friend.
Might as well try and target these, I guess. That's the one that I had before that I lost briefly. Yeah, other than that, I think that's basically it. Power supplies are power supplies. They're just all usually doing their stuff. And other than that, yeah, keep your eyes peeled for new graphics cards, but don't think it will absolutely rock your socks. The new Intel card may be okay if it's not sold out. I looked down this pit before, right? I didn't see anything. I really can't see anything anyways. Alright, destroying the statues. Nothing on that one. Whoops. What if it's not a pit? Well, me dying is the pit. Pit of despair. So tiring. Constantly having to, like, I don't know, I just feel like I've seen every part of this level and yet no dice. It's not chilling in the back here. It's not this enemy that I keep wandering past. Or his neighbor over here. Who knows? Who knows where it is?
I feel like I'm in West Side Story.
It feels so bizarre to me as well because it's like I played this like yesterday on the Nintendo 64 version to prep. Like, I've done this and yet why am I struggling so much still? Who knows? Do I just concede it? Do I just say, yeah, stuff it? Well, I can't because because otherwise I won't have the secret ending. We need to get the secret ending for all 50 remotes. That's why we're doing this.
And now for my TJ Hooker impression.
But this is the only fly that's like I'm able to find all the time. Why? I mean, you say it's like down below, but like there's not much down below. It's all pit from here on out. There's not too many like low platforms here. What is... Where could it be? Where could it be? It's not chilling on this ledge as well. It's not chilling over here, and these blue can be climbed, but I don't recall it ever being on top of these. I love simplifying your geometry to make this level's got a good sense of scale, though. I like it. But, yeah, apparently, every time I say I like something, just can't find the flies.
on Broadway. That's no hobo, that's a man, baby.
Like I might as well give it a go here, but I don't think these TVs, yeah, these TVs didn't have anything. The rats didn't have anything. It's just the walking spider ones, and they had like 4 each.
I'm Gecko Pliskin, and I'm here for the present.
So I don't know.
Dateline Broadway, with the footsteps of Gecko's hat with a rat-a-tat hat and a Tommy gun.
Do we just call it? Do we just try and rerun it again? Claim that it disappeared and I swear I was looking at that angle so much. Oh my gosh. Listen, man, when all hope is lost, the answer shall be found. Inshallah. Inshallah, he will be found. There we go. Exactly. First try. Alright, cool. So that's every paw print, every bonus coin, and there is one... well, actually, no, we still got to do a bonus level, still. I like how I was like, you know, this stream's going to be so quick, I just have to play through like 1.5 levels, and we're already at an hour 40. And I still got to play through the Nintendo 64 level. So do a nice glide around here, and you'll land on this ledge with a bonus level.
Lock and load, little lizard.
Eat 10 rubber duckies. That's right, it's the same level again, but with 30 seconds reduced. Hurry. Yeah, I do wish these bonus levels weren't copy-pasted, like even if they had different layouts. I don't mind reusing the themes, but definitely this one, I might as well give a bit of a last-minute review of the game. But yeah, these bonus levels, I wish that there was a bit more variety in them, given that they put in so much effort to make the actual levels have the variety, which is good fun. Okay. I do wish that, the variety of the levels is both its strength and its weakness, because you'll definitely find some levels that have just an annoying, yeah, if I got stunlocked by these cannonballs, I swear. I think that they don't shoot both ways that quickly, it's just that I followed some of them, so they probably just spawned behind me, came up to me, and then when they stopped spawning, the ones in front started spawning. Alright, might as well do the lap around now. This should be good. But that being said, I think that these are some real fun and interesting levels. I like the variety of the themes. I like just naturally having multiple, you know, objectives and things to do in the levels, and it works quite organically. I like it. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff where it's like, yeah, it's only used once, just for the one, like, remote. There's like a cannon shooting feature, only in the pirate level, really. And the Lizard of Oz boss level. Also, boss levels are just, you know, their own thing. So there's a lot of fun, cool stuff there. But yeah, just to remind, everything should be done. Everything should be done. That's it, basically. So, nice. So now, all we do is, first of all, save the game, I guess. I say it's like, oh, I need a save that's got the end of the game, and I completely forgot that I do have a save that has the end of the game anyways. There is no Channel Z. Space rocket here. I mean, we sort of saw this already because I had to explore this area anyways. The final boss level requires 30 remotes and actually has a remote of its own that you have to get. And obviously it takes place in space, because why not? So yeah, here we are, the final level of the game. And what final level of the game is it without a little bit of a very, very annoying platforming section?
Airlock is opened by turning off the 3 generators. Sir, the space station's airlock is opened by turning off the 3 generators.
Thanks for showing me that. So yeah, if you don't know what the generators look like, they're that. You have no secondary jump. You're just gonna wing the platforming with no shadow, and the frame rate is terrible for some reason. I'm looking at a skybox. Nothing's going on down there. Sometimes these platforms overlap. Sometimes they're not. It's a little hard to judge. Okay, we're good. We're good. But you've got nothing else to collect, so don't worry. And the timing is a little weird as well sometimes. It is the Scarlet Violet Sky Sphere, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. I like how you can see the columns of whatever's going on back there. But hey, it's a neat little final foray. There you go. That was a gutsy jump, wasn't it? Actually, it's just Rainbow Ride all over again, isn't it? Oops. Oops. Nope. I'm timing this poorly. There we go. All right. It's all just very odd platforming where you're just hitting oblique angles and weird jumps here and there. I think once you're at this part though, it's fairly smooth sailing. So the first generator is in here. With the generator, just make sure you don't hit the electric. It's easy to not even notice it was there in the first place. And then you have to jump on this thing. It's a little odd looking. And here we go. We're leading up to the space station. But there are 2 other generators that exist on little side paths that you'll need to take. And there's these turrets. We'll just be chilling here. Why not? Just a, leap of faith. Why not? It's not even any weird platforming over here. It's just the solar array again. Oh, as a fun little gift for people as well, you can get some really cheap solar panel technologies come across quite a bunch. And that means that there's a lot of older solar panel tech that's not as efficient or good, but it's well, they're not using it in Enterprise or rolling it out tons anymore, so they're actually just discounted heavily. No one wants cheap solar panels. So if you're ever curious about solar panels, they're actually kind of neat to get them toy around with. You can make your own little power generator if you wire enough of them in series.
Nap time.
Power your own makeshift UPS. Maybe not makeshift the UPS, but you know what I mean.
Done, sir.
What a bunch of space junk.
What a bunch of space junk. Yeah, no, the theming in this game is good fun. Gex's voice is hilarious as always, albeit he keeps going, he never stops. So here we go. Enter the door, and then get teleported into the boss room, because why not? If you've been picking up health, you will have more health than him. And that kind of makes it a bit easy. Your goal is to chill, I think. Or I guess maybe not. Hold on. What are we doing? I've completely forgotten what happens in this fight. Hold on, he swats. He swats. He will swat at me. There you go, and then the ledges come back. And I'll just walk off the ledge instead of having even... We haven't tried the British version. I thought there was a cannon here, but maybe I'm absolutely tweaking. That was... I did a great job about there. A great job. Oh, sorry. I forgot. It's not health. It's the spitty. It's the spitty. Alright, let's be a bit more careful with the health now. I'm sorry, it's also green, just like the other one. It blinks, yeah, I guess. Like the time cat. I love Rez's design. I wish it was used for more than just this level. I'm probably gonna cop it. I feel like I've been taking a bit too many hits because none of it heals. One day when Xbox emulators get there. Whoops. It's pretty good, but it doesn't do Project Gotham Racing 2, and therefore that's my jam. Alright, now that I've completely not blanked out on the fact that these things are the spitty, I know that you can get a hit right away. And then we may as well just not rely on the bounce. That one always hits me. Never know why. His left arm always gets me.
This is gonna cost NASA a fortune.
Gotham Racing 1 maybe, but is Gotham Racing 2 playable? I'd always actually, I think it may be playable, but I had issues where the shadows were just completely, like, wrong. And it's sometimes a bit hard to visually see what you're doing because of that. It's getting closer. It's a lot closer than it used to be. Yeah, and I think it has a crash, like, kind of part. Oh, there's another hit. Yeah, it's been a while. I could probably retest it, just to double check. One day I will actually be able to play the DLC of that game. Which just involves extra cars, but still. I know that people have already recreated the Xbox Live servers. I actually want to see if people can do that with the emulator as well. Ooh. Well, I failed to learn how to beat the boss, and I still, there's, usually it's like on disc, and it would require like unlocking, but yeah, there's sometimes just actual downloadable content on the Xbox, yeah.
And then, after he showed me his entire collection of Star Trek bloopers, he asked me to marry him. Actually, he insisted.
That's my dad. Good thing I got you out of there when I did. Now, back to you and me.
Are you there, sir?
Are you there,
What
sir?
now?
There seems to be an emergency, sir. The world needs your
Alfred,
help.
I can't hear you. The signal seems to be breaking up. Gex, I'll call you later. As I was saying, extra, my love. It's tail time.
It's tail time.
Come here, you silly gecko. Oh, Gex.
This is real. This is real. This is real. They do it. They do it. They did it. They did it. So for getting all the remotes, you get this little slideshow, which is neat. You get to see what their place was like in wonderful 256 by 224. Oh, there he is. Yeah, it's like the DS. It's like almost all the time it's just on the system itself. Almost all the time, because technically you'd have games like WarioWare DIY, which definitely have to download to the system. Yeah, no, this game was good fun. I'm glad that the devs... Picross 3D. Yeah, Picross 3D is another good example, yeah. Or just Picross DS, I think that one also had it. Also, this is a real promotional art. Real promotional art for my T-rated game. Just catch you off guard. Think about it, that's not a... There was no real Gecko in the photography booth. Also, StarCraft 2 mentioned. StarCraft 1 mentioned. StarCraft 2 wasn't out for another 11 years. Whoops. Also, the Tick. And lots of TIE fighters. These guys were nerds and we loved them for it. Oh, just puzzles from old Picross games. Ah, okay. Dude, it must have been chill, like, being a programmer back in the day. You'd have just guitarists and, like, other cool things going on. And there's that poster again in the back. This guy knows. He knows. Copyright is going to kick in if they know you're playing Mortal Kombat 2. Very nice. I don't want to be known I worked on the game. Oh, that's probably places out there. Except for our Gran Turismo 4 online test. I don't know who's preserved that. There we go, Team Gex. And there we have it. That's Gex 3, Deep Cover Gecko. The flies disappearing is annoying, and I honestly had a lot harder of a time getting 100 flies just while talking over it. Just naturally. But no, I had a good time playing it. We're still doing the Nintendo 64 exclusive level after this, so strap in. It's not fully over just yet, but yeah, it's charming. It's like in the grand world of Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1 era collect-a-thons, this one is fairly neat, and I think it's remembered for a good reason. Despite, I think a lot of people potentially could remember it just because of Crystal Dynamics' pedigree. Shortly after this game, actually, because they also did Pandemonium, and Pandemonium was a well-received game, but they got the Tomb Raider license in 2006. So I'm just trying to look up what happened in between. What were they doing for the PS2 gen? More Legacy of Kain games, very well known for that, I guess. Yeah, Soul Reaver 2, Blood Omen 2, Defiance. Okay. And then yeah, 2006 they did Tomb Raider Legend, 2007 Tomb Raider Anniversary, 2008 Tomb Raider Underworld. Very well received games. I think a lot of people like Anniversary. I'm a big sucker for Legend. I actually really find that one's good fun. And they've continued on with the reboot trilogy, the Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And then yeah, Square Enix, because bought Eidos, where they were publishing under for the most part. Yeah, and then they made the Avengers game, because that's what Square Enix thought would make a ton of money, and that didn't turn out. And they got sold off along with Eidos Montreal, who made Deus Ex, at least the newer ones. So they got sold off to Embracer Group, and the Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3 remaster, and then a Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remaster. And also a Tomb Raider 4 to 6 remaster is coming out early next year. So at least they're doing that, but yeah, since the Avengers game, we haven't actually had any new games from Square Crystal Dynamics, yeah. And I don't know how much of it actually involves Crystal Dynamics and how much is just Aspyr doing all the good stuff. Because these are, like, recreated remasters as well. But I think the source for those games has been reversed quite nicely ahead of time, so... the last game before the Avengers would have been Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and then Rise of the Tomb Raider, and then Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris. So, they are doing that new Perfect Dark game. They are working on that. So, but yeah, that's Gex 3 on the PlayStation 1. There's not really anything else to say or show. I think we're all good. That basically hits the end of that second save, the same as the first one. So I think we're good there. But don't be gone, because I'm going to quickly jump to... like, really quick. No, you can't save, but it's the same game. It's just the one boss fight. Crave Entertainment, I kept thinking they did Turok, but it's not them. That's Iguana. Crave is just their own thing. This is Gex on the Nintendo 64. It's a lot quieter for some reason. And the biggest thing I would probably say about Gex 3 on the Nintendo 64 is that it's almost very faithful. It's incredibly faithful to the same, PlayStation 1 version. This is driven by hold on, it's not quite driven by the same team. This is driven by Grey Matter? No, hold on, it's on the cutting room floor. I'll look it up right now. No, that's Gex 3DO, but sure. Gex 3, Deep Cover Gecko. Gratuitous Games. Here we go. Gratuitous Games. Who doesn't have a big roster of titles under their belt. But they did do Cruisin' Exotica. So at least it's that. We're going to turn the audio up a bit. Because otherwise it's way too quiet. This game supports the Rumble Pack, and it supports these cameras. For reference, there's a standard mode and a beginner mode, and from what I can tell, beginner mode just gives you more time in the bonus stages. And then there's, precise analog, relaxed analog, and regular analog. What could this possibly mean? Well, there's my save that I've done before. So we're not playing through the whole game, but we'll immediately see that when you start the game, loading or not loading, this is the intro sequence. Because we can't do FMVs. Or apparently audio. There should be narration right now. I don't know why there's no narration. Did I accidentally flick it off? Hold on. This is where you lose viewers right away. Hi, did I accidentally just flick off the... I did flick off the voices. Man, that made that intro sequence just seem very odd, didn't it? Quick, load the game again and pretend that nothing happened.
Mr. Gex and Agent Extra had worked together for a jolly long time, solving international mysteries, putting away some very bad chaps. But it all came to an untimely end when Agent Extra was mysteriously kidnapped.
Oh my goodness.
Now, Mr. Gex has dedicated himself to finding and rescuing his lost partner. Without her, I fear he will be lost.
That's it. That's all your intro. They fortunately did save a lot of the dialogue. There's a lot of voice lines. So, for example, you're chilling... Oh, dang it. Hold on. We'll do a new game and then we'll get that bit going on. Hold on. We gotta show an example of this happening. There we go.
Gex.
She's a JPEG. It's definitely crushed down quite a bunch, but I think the texture filtering actually works quite nicely with this. And there's enough motion that, I'd say that's decently impressive.
Hey, Speaking of secrets, you want to see my...
Gex, quit clowning around.
I guess it's a
Get me
GIF.
out of here. This place is giving me the creeps.
There's a lot of dithering, so it's not quite a GIF. Like, GIFs have a hard, like, resolution that they're at. But yeah, Gex on the Nintendo 64 is mostly the same game. It even has the terrible analog stick controls. Like, I'm using the analog stick right now. You can walk, but you can't really go at an angle. You get stuck to the 45 degrees really, really tightly. Yes, that was an easy remote as well. So we'll just load my save. But for the most part, the entire game is the exact same. I will show off every single difference on this one save file, because I have explicitly done everything but the differences. So in the stat screen, you can see that it's almost all clear, except for a certain E2 Gecko, as well as also the stat screen shows you about these extra bonus levels. So what I'll show off right now is that 2 of the bonus levels are actually different. And they're the 2 in the first 2 worlds. So if you remember, in the hub world, it's as easy as jumping on all these little, I guess, radios, tape machines. Yeah, for the most part, the controls are the same, except you'll use the C left and C right to move the camera left and right. C down moves your camera close and far away, and that means that to do the I guess the tongue, it's actually mapped to either Z or L, if you're just using the D-pad. But for the most part, most of the game is just involving A and B to jump and spin. So I don't think really it's that bad to map to the Nintendo 64 controls. It plays fine.
Lock and load, little lizard.
So anyway, let's head in here. The secret levels all work basically the same, other than you're prompted to put in the rumble pack every time. But this secret level is different. You remember in the PlayStation 1 game, it was the fireman kind of in the city kind of level. Here it's not. It's just a pirate themed level again. It's got a curious concept where you just have to get the token in this one. You don't have to get the 50 flies. But the way that you get this is just by pushing the explosive barrels towards the door and constantly hearing a ticking noise. You'll note as well that the music is fairly faithful. It actually matches the sound font very closely, if not exactly. So props to them for that. Gex is being awfully silent right now, but depending on the level, he's actually quite vocal as well, which is quite neat. They've captured most of the voice lines, and generally all the textures and all the models. It's in this game. It does a pretty good job. Definitely, I think there's some concessions to the quality of the textures. It's pretty blurred down. I do prefer the aesthetic style of the PlayStation 1 version. Okay, fine. We'll push him closer. But I don't hate the look of the Nintendo 64 version. I think, like, if you had a Nintendo 64 at the time, I'd say this is still a fairly competent game to get and play. It's... yeah, the only real differences, other than, yeah, you lose your FMV cutscenes, it's just mostly, yeah, just a couple of levels are different. Just a couple. So you may be wondering, okay, so this bonus level has changed, so therefore there's no hidden clapper with the FMV cutscene. And the next bonus level has changed, so there's also no FMV with the clapper. But what about the underwater level, which was the 3rd secret level? What happened to that one? Is it just completely removed? And the answer is no. They actually put in an extra bonus coin in the underwater level where the clapper used to be. Just a curious point. We have a winner! Also, the game actually prompts to save. Sometimes. I guess after remotes. Yeah, you may notice as well, the game takes arguably longer to load than the PlayStation version, and I can't explain why. I really can't explain why. Like here, it's like, why has it gone black for so long? But yeah, for the most part, like, all these levels are exactly the same as the PlayStation version. You'll see a couple of textures change from here and there, but for the most part, it's pretty faithful. Even got, like, signs and all the other level design is pretty much the same.
Lock and load, little lizard.
I'd say that's good fun. I'm actually kind of surprised there's no Dreamcast version of this game as well, given that, yeah, time for the second secret. This one is more aesthetically in line with what the second secret was, like... you actually get this Indiana Jones costume. Which isn't even in the PlayStation game, I think. But for the most part, it's themed just like that level, so... And you gotta get your 50 flies again, so... What's that mysterious ticking sound? I actually can't really explain why this level is different. Or really why any of the bonus levels are that different, but sure, okay. Because it's not like this level is using different art assets or is, like, more vertical or hard to capture, because it's like, well, you've got all the other levels still to deal with. I didn't particularly find it was a hard level, although it did end with a swimming part, which I thought was a little annoying, but... Oh yeah, it's, for the most part, very similar. Like, yeah, like, this texture looks kind of awful when you go close up to it. No matter how neat the Nintendo 64 is, when low textures strike, they strike hard. Oh, it does end in this weird floating platform part. Just a little ring of platforms, you just gotta ride it around and get all the flies in the middle. Oops. Yeah, it's not too complex of a level. Whoops. Whoops. I don't mind it. I don't particularly feel like they needed to replace the existing one. Yeah, exactly. I mean, look how much time is left. Like, that's an insane amount. I'd argue maybe the retro achievement set is better on the Nintendo 64 version because you don't have to beat the whole game without collecting any fly upgrades or beat the whole game in 2 hours. They're all mostly scoped to beating boss fights without taking a hit or beating these bonus levels with a certain amount of time remaining. So it's not that bad, actually. I'd probably argue I'd probably go and try and master this one. The final boss fight, I swear though, I'm not that good at doing it without a hit though. I mean, you saw how I did it that time. I'm like, there's gotta be a way, but... Yes, the time was clocking down as I was sitting here. But yeah, the other bonus levels are exactly the same as the PlayStation version, so I don't need to really show those off. I just wanted to show off those ones. Full game challenge runs. Yeah, I generally think that. Metroid's always one where people will have opinions, like strong opinions on that one, so... My Metroid Prime 2, I don't know if I know how to beat the game in 3 hours on the dot. That's longer than this game. A whole 3-hour achievement as well. But you can segment. The Gex one you can't segment. That does require a single session. Because it doesn't track your playtime. So with that, we've only got one thing to do. Which is to head to Slappy Valley. Yeah, it's the same in the Prime games. At least you can segment it by save file. And in theory, if someone were to share a save file that's close to the end of the game with plenty of time remaining, in theory, that would be a fairly easy achievement to get. But it's not in the spirit to do that. Don't do that. Interestingly, every bonus level is the same, so... Nothing to worry about here. Set dev challenge runs. I mean, the thing in Metroid, though, is that... well, at least Metroid 1... It's fine. I like how this sign is different, though. Well, no, it's not. It's still Troy's Story. I thought they said the level's name on the side of the level. But yeah, here we are,
Get it on.
the mythical network yet again. But now we have the Et2 Brute, or Et2 Gecko level. Sorry, not really Et2 Brute. This level's different. Still has the same music, but this level's different. That means we still have one last opportunity to collect all these flies. And my controller disconnected. Hi. Don't disconnect, controller. Boodoo. Also, he wears a different outfit, because why not? But yeah, I'd probably say it's a lot better, mostly because
Mr. Heston, Mr. Charlton Heston.
no weird bottomless pits, and I don't think you use the ice power-up in this level. You still have the strongman power-up. Yeah, it's a lot more of a banjo level. You still got these enemies, like, they're not completely abandoning all their assets. They still have the pigs, which aren't in the prototype, by the way. The prototype level actually has just more flies just floating around, because why not? And these skeletons are just enemies. You're just meant to hit them.
Powerful piece of machinery.
Thank you, Gex, for making the audio duck as well. I was expecting more to do in this beginning area, but okay. I like how I missed the platform, but sure. You still gotta do this, but hey, that's a lot more manageable. A lot more manageable than it used to be. So here's your fun mechanic.
Jump towards the target to grab hold, sir. Then press jump again to let go and swing yourself across the gorge.
Yeah, we got grapple points just in the Nintendo 64 exclusive level. And also these very glowy paw prints on the walls.
Tail doesn't like you.
But yeah, I have a hunch. It's been a while since I played this level, so I don't have it on the tip of my tongue. But I definitely say it's probably a lot easier to deal with, to understand. You don't have like branching paths and draw distance kicking in all the time. Also, we have lava. This game's immediately better because it has lava. It's not a bottomless pit, it's just sand.
What a movie.
What a movie. Every PlayStation era platformer is better with lava. Croc is like the greatest example of one of those. That game's fine up until the lava appears, and then it's GOAT game. I actually used to be like a sucker for like when like games in the PS2 and then eventually the HD generation
Sir,
started having lava.
Tail whipping the window and will activate the soul geyser. I believe you can use it as a shortcut.
Oh my goodness, shortcuts? In my grease level? Excuse me? So this level actually splits into multiple pathways as well. So different paths will lead towards the different flies. So we'll just have to mentally remember which one I'm going towards. And nice, you gotta break more urns. So many urns to break. Every time the ball goes, also the fly goes off screen, you're like, oh no, it's happening. It looks bright, but it's actually pretty ordinary down here. There's a lot of cheeky hidden fly spots still. I wouldn't say it's the easiest level. I mean, I think the previous one was interesting as well, just not for the duration that I played it.
Burley's the name.
Interestingly as well, I believe this level is still developed by the same Crystal Dynamics people, rather than being a particularly new level by the Nintendo 64 producers. It was just like, yeah, there was just this level. I do like the Grease level theme-wise, but I just do think that, this It's a lot more gentle. And especially for, like, you know, the middle level of the game. Like, level 7 out of 11, which is not quite the middle, but you know what I mean. It's like... That level is rather brutal for what it is. Given the Beanstalk level is fairly easy, and... I'd still argue the superhero level wasn't that bad. Like, yeah, I was looking around for that one fly, but that's... I blame myself and my, my weakness on that one. I want to get over there. Guess I'm gonna need the strong power. Or I could just... Yeet!
I am Judah Ben Gex.
Judah Ben Gex. But it's a fun, interesting note as well, just like how many other games have Nintendo 64 versions or other kinds of console ports and how well those ports do. I sort of... I say famously as if it's actually famous, but like when I played Toy Story 2 and all that for the first time on YouTube, like ages ago, PlayStation emulation was not very easy to set up and not as accurate as it is today. Yeah, that's how that works. Oh, that would have made that jump a little easier, wasn't it? But the Nintendo 64 versions, yeah, sometimes they aren't ports at all, like our Harry Potter example. 5 versions of that game. I've only played 3 of them. I guess we probably explored this whole area. I don't know why I just completely ignored the the paw prints on the wall and just decided to jump for it, but I feel accomplished nonetheless. But yeah, that, like the Toy Story 2 and the Bugs Life. The Toy Story 2 port was also on both PC and also the Dreamcast. And yeah, it's the same game on all of them. Like, yeah, some of them have different visuals. There's a couple of differences here and there. Like the Dreamcast version generally is the... Actually, no, the PC version is the best quality version, technically. Just loads in the quickest. But the Dreamcast version is very faithful as well. I think A Bug's Life is on... I think it's on PC as well? It's not on the Dreamcast. Dreamcast wasn't out then. Or they just weren't working on it at that point. Whoops. Going Quackers. Yeah, Going Quackers is the fun example. The PS1 version, it's the same... I mean, it's the same devs as the Rain... I like how my Megan died because of that. I don't want to grab that again. But yeah, that one's, like... It's actually quite impressive how, like... You know, they had to do the same thing for Rayman 2, because it is the same devs, I believe. The same, or if it's not the same devs, at least the same engine powering those 2 games. And the PlayStation versions of those 2 games are very different, because you can only push so much down that engine on the PlayStation version, but enough to make it, like, feel like it's the same game, even when it's not. Okay, let's head down this route. More slightly awkward grappling. It always feels like I'm not jumping quite towards it, but I am.
Now cut that
Okay,
out.
now that doesn't count. Rayman 2, yeah, the Dreamcast version does have its differences. Like, the Dreamcast version has a different world map, and it's actually got multiple minigames that later reappeared on the PS2 port. Kick your purple Minotaur, you can't do anything about it. But yeah, the PS1 version famously doesn't have 1,000 lums. It's only got 800. And it's got various levels that just spam the lums. For the most part, though, the Dreamcast version is the same as the Nintendo 64 version, which is also very close to the PC version. The PC version really is just the same as the Nintendo 64, but with better quality textures. Arguably even better than the Dreamcast at times, but the Dreamcast usually carries through quite nicely, so... I played the PC version on stream, so I generally think that is the best version to play. Like, it works fine with DG Voodoo, and yeah, otherwise it all generally works out well. It's on GOG. one of the versions of Rayman 2 has one of the lums being... all of them except for the PlayStation 1 version. Where you find that last lum is actually different depending on the version of the game, or at least it's different in the PS2 version compared to the other ones. The reason why I think it doesn't disappear on the PS1 version, at least from memory, is that because that whole level doesn't appear on the PS1 version.
I am Spartacus.
I am Spartacus. Can I jump up here? I do have the swing, but I think the swing's just for that platform that I really should have jumped across. Yeah, version differences are always good fun, and yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting when you do get wild version differences. I will be doing, hopefully, yeah, true. Not Among Us. I will be doing a set for, or at least I say I will be doing it, but I gotta claim it first if I want to, and actually build the set if I want to actually claim this. But I want to do a set for whoops. There's no checkpoints in this level, so maybe I should have gone down this path first. But I want to do a set for Hexen on the Saturn, and Hexen is fun because all the console versions are the same. Other than the load times are ridiculous on a couple of them. But, like, Doom on other consoles is like, you know, some levels are captured, some levels aren't. Hi, I would like to do my high jump. I would like to do my jump. There you go. I don't know why Gex just sometimes doesn't do a high jump. I could totally go back and get some healing from some of the earlier parts. And by some of the earlier parts, I mean just there, really. Which is one jump away, so this would be very tragic. No, we're good. We'll be good, we'll be good. We're good. Worst case as well, I could actually just ignore that one. Well, worst case is I die. Not as worst case, but I could just ignore that because that's just a paw. Like, I'll be getting it again later. Yeah, let's just grab that later. Let's get the flies first. Oh, look, more health.
I am Jetson.
We're at 72, so we're a lot of the way there anyways. But yeah, what's another game with like some real like significant version differences? Harry Potter's a fun one just because it's like, yeah, no, that's 5 differently developed games. For some reason, instead of paying people to like port existing experiences, they flat out just went and made 5 different games. I don't know why. I think it's good fun, yeah, definitely. But it is kind of curious. The Sims is a classic. One day I'll play through multiple versions of The Sims. Wink wink nudge nudge actually on my list of titles to get to. Oops. Wow, what a swing.
My tail says hello.
And always the classic as well. The herbs on console versus the herbs on handhelds. The herbs, Beavis and Butthead. Oh, maybe, yeah. Also, sub Chocobo Dreams. The engagement challenge worked. But yeah, no, there's a lot of fun ones out there. And you don't get that these days, really. You get stuff like the reason why I don't play the Toy Story 3 game on PC. Which it's the same as the Wii and PS2 versions, where it's lacking so much of the content. Chameleon Twists. Oh, yeah, okay, region differences, that's a different matter. I think there's various games where There's a... Yeah, the Japanese version has like more costumes or things like that. Sometimes you get console ports that lack DLC. For example, the PC version of Burnout Paradise didn't have the map expansion DLC. And just to complicate things further, sometimes there's Steam exclusivity. There's various games that don't get content on the GOG versions or other store-placed versions. For example, I think Far Cry 3 actually has more DLC on the Uplay version than the Steam version. What does that sound? What's triggering that? Where's that coming from? Who knows? Yeah, it's so weird that there's so many games that are like that. Thank you, Infinity Nikki, for identifying that I am playing on Epic, but not being any different. Ogre Eater's extra big with fudge? Oops.
These leather-like clothes feel so good on my leather-like skin.
Nice. Okay, I think the other one... Yeah, it was over here. I kind of like a level as well that just branches into 3 separate paths, and each one leads towards a different remote. That just feels natural. Cutting room floor is pretty good for version differences. I did a set for Lead Storm Rally 2011, and that one's fun because there's a redone version of the game without the English. This is just the beginning of the stage I fell down in, although I did see an enemy on a ledge that I may have not hit for some reason.
Easy.
This is I may almost die, but I don't think there's anything in the way that could kill me, but that would be very tragic if it did happen. Yeah, cutting room floor is great. I would love to actually contribute to some cutting room floor articles. Oh, there it is. Easy. And it's at the last pour as well. 7 out of 10. Wow, I'm missing a bunch. Well, I got the pour. Yeah. Might as well grab it.
Let's get it on. Yes, we have a
We
winner.
have a winner! So, yeah, you get prompted to save all the time. And occasionally, maybe it'll happen. Okay, sometimes when you end a level, you'll get your Agent Extra cutscene, where you get teleported back to the, the very start of the game to talk to her on that one computer screen. And that means you have to wander all the way back in order to re-enter the level, which is a little annoying. But not every level does that in this game. Whereas in the PlayStation 1 version, you'd always have that for the first, I guess, remote you get in each level. Did you notice how effortlessly getting 100 flies was in this, by the way? That was an absolute breeze. I still gotta get the bonus coin, so I won't say it's not over until the fat lady sings, but at least it's the easier thing to crawl out and try and get. Where would you imagine it is? It is a big word. So is Pneumon Ultra Microscopic Silica Volcaniconiosis. That's a big word. But you know what I mean, like relative to the original PS1 version of this level, as well as Hathia, Sacabambaspis. True.
I am Spartacus.
Spartacus. So we're really on the lookout for... what are we looking out for? 2 paws, 1 bonus coin. And it's a little annoying because if you wanted to rely on the GameFAQs guide, here's a note. Small bundle of joy. I'm pretty sure it's a big fish. Oh, no wait, no, that's just a fly. The GameFAQs guide, the only one for Gex 3 is on the PS1 version, so there is no GameFAQs guide telling you how to beat this level. Which, oh look, there's 1 checkpoint.
Leather-like clothes feel so good on my leather-like skin.
There was 1 checkpoint the whole time. I have a feeling we've explored pretty well on that lava path. Such an amazing texture. can't get away with stuff like that these days. Oh, okay, that's pretty small actually. I thought they were a lot bigger.
Paging Mr. Heston, Mr. Charlton Heston.
Ooh. I did have one bit when I was playing through the superhero level on the Nintendo 64 version though, when I got the camera very stuck. And for the stream VOD, I will overlay that right now because that was a bit tremendous. You never know if there's a big one. The grappling hook is like, it's just so weird that it's not in the PlayStation game at all. But yeah, no, I'd probably say, yeah, I would prefer this level over the PlayStation one. I am the greatest. I feel like this kind of structure of level design actually wasn't even in the PlayStation version on any of those 11 levels. Where you basically have like just a fork where all three remotes are conveniently in each direction, you know what I mean? You got the beanstalk level where it's like, oh, at different points on the beanstalk, that's where your objective is. Like, that makes sense. But then, yeah, you've got yeah, the grease level where it's like one of the remotes is fairly early on and then two of them are right at the end. I believe it was meant to be a remaster of all three games, which is gonna be interesting. I always find that's interesting, like with the Tomb Raider 4, 5, 6 remaster, it's like, you know, it's great when Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 are all basically the same engine, but Tomb Raider 6 is a fairly wildly different engine, and it has a lot of fun design points that I think just don't work anymore, like how Tomb Raider 6 has a experience system somewhat, but it only goes up at specific story points. And that just means that your jump length arbitrarily changes later in the game. We have a set for Dragon Quest IV on the DS, but the Western version has a large part. For Dragon Quest IV on the DS, is the Japanese version just bigger for some reason? Interesting. Whoosh. I did like Dragon Quest IV on the DS. I've been playing a bunch on stream, so at some point we'll get around to 4 on the DS. Whole system of talking. Oh, true. Yeah, the whole. Yeah. I got a mate on Twitter who is very, very against the Dragon Quest translation. I would definitely say that aspect is like one of the most like sore parts of that, because I don't mind that translation, but it's like, oh, I would totally agree some people would just like something a bit more faithful. Yeah, oh, because it's just like at any point in the game, for any arbitrary set of characters that you have, which isn't too bad for the main chapters of the game. The game's broken down into various like chapters where you play as different characters, but in the final chapter, which is it's about a third of the game, you can bring any combination of characters, and the original DS version had a lot of just dialogue in that. That's not in the Japanese version. Sorry, not in the Western version. Oh, true, yeah. Rip the mobile release. You could probably patch that in, though. Shout out to Fire Emblem for doing that good meme, where you basically just have like various character dialogues just be silent, or completely like stripped down from the more expository Japanese versions at times. Ah, that's good. I hope that gets supported for the Retro Achievement set. Unless it is already. I haven't actually played through 4's Retro Achievement set on the DS. I should. I might as well get this remote, I guess. Only works on the Japanese. Oh, and most Retro Achievement sets are on the European version. Yeah, okay. Granted, though, it's not impossible to set to establish the DS version. And usually you get a lot of freebies on the handhelds. The reason why the European version is usually recommended is because you get multi-language support out of the box, and usually the hardware isn't any different anyways. Whereas the reason why European sets are usually like not encouraged for consoles is because of the frame rate difference. You get the 50 Hertz and they would just be handled fairly differently. More often than not, they'd have bugs, or in older games, they're just slower. Patch doesn't mention European. It could. Like, I'm fairly certain it's not... Well, actually, I'm fairly certain it doesn't support multiple languages anyways, but I'm fairly certain the European version isn't actually isn't really that different. So, very likely it probably works. But, yeah, I think given that, you know, whoever made the set, I don't know who made the set off the top of my head, has dug through the European version, they'd probably be the most expert person for figuring out the American version and seeing if there's any significant differences. It's an RPG, it's not quick to figure that out, unfortunately. But yeah, no, that'd be cool. Yeah, it's a lot of content. I think if you're going to be insane and do a subset for finding every single line, similar to how Shenmue has a subset for finding every single diary entry. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair call. Because as a dev, it's like, there's only so much you care about your sets. Like, I'd be willing to go back for, you know, a Guitar Hero World Tour full combo subset once a multi-set's rolled out, because that'd be kind of annoying to have to handle the rank achievements while people are not in the right set for that. That's the only reason why I'm waiting on the full combo set. I'm not doing it just yet because of that. I missed. Probably not me.
I smell heroes, my friend.
Unlike many other games, when there's no in-game completion kind of index that requires the set creator to know their stuff, I do not know my Dragon Quest IV that well. I'll know it enough to do a playthrough, but I won't know it enough to make a retro achievement set for that. Probably not. I don't think the game would track the dialogue that you've experienced.
Hang tight, Extra.
Most likely, you'd probably want to play through the... I mean, you could probably crawl through the data dump and get the dialogue out of that. And especially, I mean, the patch has probably already got all of it in there anyway, so the patch probably can tell you where it all shows up. So it just then relies on you mapping that and probably turning every single line into an achievement. Or groups of them if you want. But as a completionist subset, that would then be quite the undertaking, because you'd basically have yeah, combinations of characters and just have to wheel out and do that. That's a lot of stuff. It is cool content. I think it'd be worth having mapped out as a set. Or at the very least, like, you know, in a pre-retro achievements world, just, you know, like, plot it out. Write it down for me. And let me be able to read it. Maybe cutting room floor. Might be a good place to actually write this all down.
Hey, forget about it.
Forget about it. I'm curious where these two paws are chilling. I don't feel like I rushed over this area, but... There's probably other ones, like a bunch of other RPGs that have similar stuff to that. I want to say there was like a significant portion of a Legend of Heroes game, wink wink nudge nudge. I'll get around to that. I potentially want to do that next year. Yeah, Tails, yeah.
Who's beside your head?
I always get, on the topic of version differences, yeah, it's got a lot of dialogue, and I don't think the translators hit every single piece of it. I remember, at least the Xseed guys, like, they really put in the love and care to document what they found, at least, and what they worked on. So, when they worked on the first game, they were basically like, yep, these are the challenges we have to deal with when we eventually got around to the second game, and then they very greenlit the third game pretty quick. One day I will play them. I played the first game, and I would love to play it on stream at some point, because I was going to play it in Let's Play form, and then, life commitments. Yeah, Oh, that's nice as well, because I was a little worried that they'd pull the marvelous translation, and it's like, oh no. Because I know there's a lot of stuff on some of the Trails of Cold Steel games where it's like, yeah, what? What is this dialogue? I mean, that's the last remote, so all I'm missing is these paws. Where could they be now? I don't imagine they'd be up. It's kind of weird, you're in a completely dim cave. Yeah, botch. Oh, like, yeah, the guy on my timeline who, like, complains about translations. Oh, like, you know, sometimes it's very hyperbolized, but the principle of a botched translation is, like, 100%, like, I empathize with that, and I go, man, you know, there's probably a bunch of games like Dragon Quest where it's like, I will probably have a very different impression of Dragon Quest compared to someone in Japan, and I honestly, if you had a fairly literal translation, I wouldn't mind, I feel. Obviously, the talk of translation, I've spoken about this point before, but it's like, translation is like, yeah, you know, there needs to be a degree of localization, and I think there is a degree of you need to change some things because there will be jokes where it's like you rely on a Japanese pun, and it's like, yeah, it's not gonna, or an idiom that only makes sense in Japanese. There will be times when that's the case. There are so many games that take so many excessive liberties that obviously, yes, that's like, okay, that's way too far. Obviously changing whole character personalities, ditching whole bits of dialogue, finding dialogue problematic. This has been a thing that has been expressly said by the Dragon Quest creator, literally in the wake of the Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. Sometimes localization has to do that for censorship reasons. It's curious that's hiding there. Comparisons to the main character of Tales of Hearts. Main character change. Yeah, there's times when it's just like that, and it's like, can we not like completely change character personalities? That seems quite excessive, but that's the world we live in, where that just seems to happen, and the easy way, unfortunately, to get around it is we all learn Japanese, and arguably, I'd probably you know, give myself a bit of time, and I'll get there eventually. It's not easy. Yeah, I want to learn it because I just feel like there's so many games and things where it's like, I'm gonna need to know it at some point. The only language I know is I did Latin in high school, so every time I see Etu Brute, I'm like, oh, that's fun, and there's lots of other fun lines of dialogue and other things where it's like, yeah, Japanese seems cool. Japanese seems fairly simple up until you start having to remember kanji, and kanji is just like words, like it's just vocabulary. Vocabulary has always been my weakest part, and having the vocabulary be entirely like unique characters and places, it's like, oh, study Chinese, oh, okay. I feel like that, like, on the surface, maybe there's a lot of carryover with Chinese, but they're fairly different languages. It's like, well, I mean, if I say Latin and then I say, like, what's the term? Like, German, for example. It's like, there's substantial differences. mostly because they came at different times. I think that's usually where you get that. And obviously as well, languages change over time. Yeah, usually. But I mean, you're gonna have like fairly similar characters in, you know, in Mandarin. I mean, there's Mandarin and Cantonese. It's like the same baseline language isn't even, you know, the same thing, and depending on what you're speaking. The word letter in Chinese mean toilet paper in Japanese. Contextually, maybe it's the same thing. Maybe. But I definitely know of, like, I remember I actually did a bit of ancient Greek in high school as well, although I don't remember as much Greek. It's all Greek to me. And I remember at one point I had one of my classmates actually knows modern Greek, and it's so wildly different at some point that he was like, yeah, this is a swear word now. Like, just this one part. Forgot the word, but 100% it's like a fairly mundane word has changed over time. The characters are literally hand and paper. I think it's actually kind of fun as well how, like, quite a bunch of words have, like, a literal, just, like, root. And that's why Latin's always good fun, because so many words in Latin are just, like, the English is the same word. Or some English word is roughly the same word. Somewhere in there. Belgian friend with Greek origins. Ooh. Have you noticed I've just been wandering around because I'm really a bit aimless on finding these pores. And there's 2 of them as well, which is very odd. Yeah, modern Greek, like, a lot of the kind of stressed vowels are the same as the ancient one, but it's fairly different in terms of structure, and there's fewer cases. They've ditched the cases. No more ablative case. We don't need it. Every time you try to explain ablative case, it's like, ugh. Actually, wait, no. Ancient Greek doesn't have ablative. I think modern Greek has ablative. Maybe it's got more cases. Ooh. Looking into weird Greek linguistic stuff. Yeah, despite not needing Latin outside of high school, I remember it a lot. I don't know why. I'd sometimes say quid dicus to my friends and they'd be like, what? And they're all like, ha. Exactly. What do you think these bonus coins are? Or pause, rather.
I'm a manly man.
I don't want to look him up. But I have been in this level for a while. I mean, granted, this is the last thing I need to do as well. Although we'll beat the game, we may as well show the ending of the Nintendo 64 version as well. It's the pause. They kind of unloaded on me. I'm just probably not looking in the right places. I got the flies easy, but the pause. Gosh, I'm swimming on my hands, I'll tell you that. I'm sweaty spaghetti. Ah. Yeah, trying to think of any other weird kind of localization or language differences. I remember in one of the PS1 Persona games, one of the characters has a full race change for some reason. The pause are a way through it. Yeah, well, they should. But they don't have a GameFAQs guide, because the only GameFAQs guide for Gex 3 is the PlayStation version. Unicorn... Oh, dear, don't get me started about Unicorn Overlord. Or rather do, because I think I already had a rant about that, but... yeah, that one's the reverse, where the Japanese is one fairly direct fantasy theme, and the English is taking its linguistic liberties to the extreme. And a part of me feels like, am I losing the gist of the Japanese? English is so try-hard. It can be. It can be. Oh, sitting on my butt, very weird. But yeah, you can make English sound so artsy-fartsy. You can you know, make all your words superfluous. There's a word.
Move over, Argonauts. Here come the Gexonauts.
The Gexonauts. I don't think there's anything over here. Oh, but, okay. Particularly, yeah, true. I think I've seen an English try-hard translation in some other media, though. Don't know if it's games, particularly. Maybe an anime subtitle. Anime subtitles are shocking sometimes as well. I remember as well, what was it? It was, I think I watched, like, the first episode of My Dear Friend Noko-chan. And, the official subs are, like, so different to the AI translated ones. And the AI translated one was, like, decent. Well, yeah, sometimes it's worth complaining, and sometimes it's, like, actually it's, like, fair? Sometimes it's fine. I would always say whenever you have an automatic translation, it should really be disclosed. And not saying you need, like, translator guides on everything, because obviously a translator guide is basically, like, you know, how would I put it? It's sort of the failure of the translator to make it seem as natural as it could be. At some points you do lose the semblance of the Japanese. Like, it's impossible to capture it in all cases, but your response should... Yeah, exactly. It really does depend on what we're looking at. I cannot think that the paw is, like, here. On this, like, starting area. And I've just heavily explored that Road to Ruin section. So I don't know, it's gotta be over here then. But yeah. I don't think there is a general answer. I think the general answer should be the rough principle we should aim for. And then we try to determine how hard it is based on the original source material and, you know, the circumstances that the translation was done in. Language models are literally being made to do this kind of stuff. So at some terrifying point, we will have the robots take over our translation jobs. I think it's an inevitability at this rate. But, what I hope is that a good translation is still, you know, on the tables. Good translators shouldn't feel threatened until the very, very end. Like, until basically when it's like, you should be pleased that literally the AI are doing such a good job. The people... This is a general sentiment as well. It always sucks when people lose their job, but a lot of people who are very terrified of their jobs being lost are, like... Well, one, people in manual labor, which it's like, I would prefer safer scenarios, and having the robots be there instead of humans in dangerous scenarios is sometimes a good thing, but, well, you know, dramatically displacing jobs is not a good thing on the surface. There needs to be, you know, where do they go next? So there's that. But for, like, translators, localizers, it's like, well, your jobs aren't, like, you know, you're in the entertainment industry, and ultimately, like, the entertainment industry is a bit of more of a funnel rather than, you know, it's a safe industry in the sense of your lives are not at risk. When your job is about solving a problem, having no problems to solve. Yeah, exactly. That's what technology is. Technology is always that, and that's a fair call. Yeah, definitely. I'm going nuts where this is. They're not cheeky, they're not like hiding it up on the top of these Corinthian columns. Do we say stuff it and look it up? Because I've been wondering over this, but evergreen jobs, like those that provide addition to one's life, usually artists. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, I don't know, it always sounds harsh because I think there's probably someone out there who's like, my live stream was to create this kind of stuff. And I feel like in the ideal future world where food is literally free, as in the robots are self-generating and self-providing to the humans and haven't turned on humans, then I think ideally we can turn those passions into just, you can do it forever. Yeah, post-scarcity, basically. Where, like, you know, there is no concern for resources, hopefully. Hopefully. Dramatically, I hope that actually will put an end to wars. Maybe not all wars, but certainly some of them. Because it's like, why fight over resources when literally the robots are doing it for you? It's just a matter of time that the robots will build the things you want, as opposed to you having to fight for them. That's my politics take of the day. So in that world, hopefully then, you don't need to, like, you know, compete in a market in order to make the things that you want to make artistically. It's just like, you just do it, and you let people enjoy it. And you don't care about, like, how much anything costs. Because cost doesn't mean anything. I don't know if we'll get there in my lifetime. Potentially, but you never know. Speaking of never know, I think I actually do need to look these up because I've just been wandering around for ages not picking up anything. Constantly hearing that sound effect though. The cool lava fall is definitely neat, but to think of a future that's different from our current life. To be fair though, I think that's probably fair to say about a lot of things as well, where it's like, you know, like the internet is one where it's like every time you see like a piece of media from like the 80s about how the future will work, it's like no one imagined like instant communication like that. Well, maybe not no one, but like it's like this level of like information is absolutely unheard of. It was like, oh, you know, journalists and newspapers and archives would like store things forever. Okay. And then it's like, and literally everyone has devices in their pockets and in their household that will just immediately tell you the things that are in those archives at any notice. And you can just learn about all these crazy things. Somewhat for the worse, but usually for the best. There's like so much stuff. And that's like such a paradigm shift, because it's like, it means you can't hide anything in the world anymore. Like, when people are like, oh, you know, what about morale and like armed conflict? It's like, you can see all the nitty-gritty details, observe every... Okay, I was like, if those were the two things, but no, those were flies. I'm looking those up, man. Gex 3, et 2, Brute. Quotes? No. Et tu Brute, all, pause. Et tu Gecko. I always type it wrong.
Clash of the Titans. What a movie.
What a movie. Gex Wiki fandom. Does he have it? Nope. The wiki doesn't have anything there. What else has it? 100% complete the whole game. Okay. We got the whole game 100% complete. Thank you, Darius320. He's got 22,000 subs. Were you dead for the Flash rollout? Ball Revamp 4. That was an immediate lock-in. That'd be a massive, like, just like... Ball Revamped 4. Like, just Ball. It's by good old JMTV02? Is it 02 or 04? Yeah, that's exactly it, yeah. Okay, I'm scrubbing through the bit. It is a classic. He's a classic that he's got some stuff on Steam as well, and he's changed his name, so you'll have to look that up, but he still does stuff relating to elephants. Yeah, it's such a classic. Yeah, he did a lot of great stuff. I really liked his games. Imperial? Not by name, but I played... Okay, so in the same breath as, like, I have tons of retro achievements, I have tons of Congregate achievements. I like, did all my Congregate stuff, I tell ya. Rip Congregate, though, I tell ya. I am going nuts over all these paws, I tell ya. Does he have any cheeky spots that he's finding them? Okay, 73 may be a bit further than me. I have the potential sighting for one of these paws. Nice. Ba 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 ba. Probably break this just in case. Marble platformer. Ooh, very nice. When are we gonna somehow get a retro achievement set for Marble Run? More importantly, the dev is an RA fan. Ooh, very nice. Very nice. There's a lot of people who are there's a lot of people who are like from those days who are fairly aware of like modern culture, but they're just not like, you know, they're not pioneering in the same like way that they used to, and that's fair because honestly, like a lot of us did it in our hobbies in our spare times, and it's like, yeah, like, you know, you don't need it anymore. We work like collar jobs, white collar jobs, and white collar? Forgot which color. That's a tongue teaser right there. But you know what I mean. And bury your dreams. Do. No, the paw was here, and it probably makes sense. I like how there's no alpha on the remotes in this version. I'm scrubbing through the video. I'm trying to catch where he's spotting them. But I mean, it's a 22-minute section. No, it's all good. I'm just sitting here like not really doing anything until I get these paws. He just seems to like naturally get them as well. Like I don't see him doing anything too like exotic there. But here am I, still missing 2 of them, despite wandering the stage a ton. And despite getting all the flies, like, Yeah, this guy's long play. It's 22 minutes in this one level. Pause for thought. What could possibly go wrong?
And a couple out of you too.
Oh, I've got one potential, maybe. Didn't see it in the video, unfortunately. I'm just like mental sighting. Played at 2x speed? Yeah, I'm doing that as well. Thank you, Piped, by the way, for supporting the auto-translated video languages. They do good work over there, those guys. Oops. Yeah, the problem is I'd just be like sitting here for so long if I'm like watching this whole video. Biendeo reacts. We're reacting to Gex 3 long play instead of just playing it myself. You know what's really weird? I feel like I never had this like degree of trouble finding things in Donkey Kong 64. The game with literally 3,500 just loose bananas everywhere. So the part that I was thinking was that it was on this ledge, and I just kept ignoring it. But no, I did get that one. Okay. I'm watching him long play some more. He's getting all this stuff and doing okay. Blood being played too much. You know, if there is... Hold on, so now he's wandering over to that part. Jumps down, gets one paw there. Unfortunately, I don't have like a written list of where all the paws are, so I'm sort of scrubbing through the video hoping that I even like catch a glimpse of them, or if he goes to any area that I feel like I never went to, but I don't know. Kind of looks like he just goes to all the same places I did. I don't see anything weird here. And there's a lot of paws just out and about. Yeah, he doesn't get anything weird. All of his paws are just chilling there. And now he's at 25. He got the number. I'm very certain I walked into every single one of these paws. So hold on, just for note, there's one right near the end of the path I need to go to anyways to beat this level. There's one on the way that was unmissable, and then there's the one that's on the pillar on the bridge. So that's 3. 4 as well. There's one on the platform in the lava. There's apparently one on this pedestal, I think. So I don't know. Yeah, he collects 10. To be frank as well, I don't think I really, like... I have to check... I call it, yeah, okay. Because I really don't want to break the midnight barrier just for doing this. Like, I really wanted this to be done a lot quicker. But yeah, hold on. Okay, I'm going back, just making sure that I see all of them. So, yeah, so he's got 4 by the time he hits the... sorry, he's got 6... If comes... I know, it's the last bit. So yeah, there's 4 on the way to the final remote that I'm going for. We'll keep the music going.
Never knock me down.
Keep the music going while this guy doesn't annoy me. Problem is, I think he's getting all of his paws as he's getting other remotes as well, but then he does the flies at the end. So I'm seeing him wander through all these areas, but not necessarily get the paws. I don't know what's going on with the camera right here, I'm just sort of chilling, but... I don't think he missed any paws on his, like, first 2 runs. As he's getting all the flyers and doing his final, like, you know, remote, he's picking up everything. I don't see him missing things. So that's like half the run done, basically. Hold on, let me go back further just to catch what was the remote. Or what was the paw that he got just before he exited the level? No, he's... Yeah, okay, that's 6. So those were the only 4 that he even got on that run. There was one right at the end remote at the top, and I definitely have checked there. And let's dive into the level again, just to watch him do it one more time. What does he do? What does he do? Ah. This is a great gripping stream. Oh, it's that guy running into that wall all the time down there. So he has 19 paws by the end of the first remote, and I believe he hits 25 at the end of everything, so that makes sense that he's on 15 when he starts off. And yeah, definitely makes sense that he's on 15, because he's got 15 before he enters the level for the first time, so there's that. Okay, so where does he go? We'll start off just, I'm watching the start, because I know where he's got the back 5, and I know I've gotten every single one of those. Destroys some columns. Okay. Oh, okay. No, I'm just an idiot. I'm just an idiot. We did it. We figured it out. It was me being an idiot. Well, it's okay. It's not too much an idiot. It's more, like, I didn't do a thing. And, you don't have to do it in the, yeah, you can destroy the broken tops of various columns like that. And some of them have the paws. And I didn't do that. I didn't do that on any of them. And that's where I'm going nuts, because I think they're all at the beginning. But it's kind of annoying, because there's no on-screen counter of how many paws you've gotten. So there's, yeah, there's one there. And you gotta be strong, so that's why, and there's one there. I think that's literally it. One. Two. Easy. It was like, there you go. There you go. I love how I started from the back of the long play as well. Like, I was mashing the forward 10 seconds button and completely missing that. And then I got to the end, I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure I've gotten these ones. Alright, let's run, let's get the remote, let's beat the game, and probably we'll beat midnight. Probably. Going fast makes you go slow. Yeah, that's I think that's the... Write that in my yearbook. Write that as 2024. It's the year of going fast makes you go slow. The more you buy, the more you save. If that keynote happens before my next stream, by the way, which as a reminder, by the way, I am not streaming next week. Disclaimer: we're not streaming next week. Chill with your family. It's nearly New Year's. It'll be December 30th next week. And then I'll be back the week after. But it'll be 2025 by then. 2025! Already! Can you believe it? Just a week away. Well, it's a little more than a week. But, yeah, nah. This week has been, or this year has been, I'd say I've probably done a lot of stuff this year. It's been a bit more aggravating for life in the just business and stuff like that, because it kind of feels like industry isn't as booming as it used to be. Oh, I have to destroy all these guys again. Ah. But it's just like, yeah, Astrobot sweep. Yeah, the Astrobot sweep is cool. Yeah, man, I gotta destroy all these guys again. Whoops.
Gotta love the crap.
There's been some neat games here and there as well. I think there's definitely not as many absolutely strong games, which is a bit unfortunate, but certainly there's a lot of cool, neat ones, and I think technology's getting real cool as well. Lots of cool stuff in the home that you can utilize. Wow.
Forget about it.
Previous one further back, or was he up the ledge? I think it was up the ledge. FF7R2, Metaphor, Persona 3 Reload. And no FPS games that anyone enjoyed. Except for the Doom 1 and 2 remaster.
Night, night, baby. Yeah.
True, Mario and Luigi, unless you're IGN. Then you don't enjoy it. Poor IGN. Oh, sorry, wait. Who can forget? Concord. Yeah, I heard people like Black Ops 6. I don't know if Black Ops 6 does anything better than other really well liked Call of Duties, or whether it's just like, well, at least it's not Modern Warfare 3, which was a rushed, sloppy job.
Let's get it on. Yes.
Better zombies? True. True. So, yeah, so in this Nintendo 64 game, because of the extra bonus token in the bonus stage, you end with 46 of them. Modern Warfare 3 was a mistake. Well, it's because they have like a game as a service, and it's sort of... It's always been that now, for a few years. But, how do they keep selling annual experience? Because I think they just signed themselves up for that, for being a publicly traded company. That's just like, oh, we do that. And it's like, why? Why do you need to do that? So, anyway, let's wander to our final location and beat Rez one last time and witness some Nintendo 64 credits and take the long way around every time. But yeah, neat bonus, neat extra level. I'm an idiot for not breaking the columns. I could have saved like 40 minutes, I swear. That's what I get for playing collect-a-thons, I guess. But at the very least, we have hit no stone unturned for Gex 3. I think that is legitimately all the Gex 3 content I can even think of. I don't, other than the prototype, I don't think there's any weird little hidden secrets. I will leave the cheat codes to you as a viewer, but I don't think there's anything too, like, weird other than playing as a character, you know. It's fine, you can toy around with that. There's a debug mode. It's all on the cutting room floor, you'll see that. It's the same level, except the skybox is artistically a bit different. And the draw distance may be a bit worse. I'm just saying that there's more subtle fog effects. It seems that there's a lot of transparency effects that actually aren't quite supported the best on this Nintendo 64 version as well.
The space station's airlock is open by turning off the 3 generators.
I'm impressed they got that many voice lines though. Because like Conquer is like a 128 megabyte cartridge, and this game is still a 32 megabyte one. I feel like the proper... I saved it. It's literally like Gex will like slip back slightly as he climbs up.
So worried about you.
You noticing some like pink on the sides of some of these objects? Like it's like a texture that's just aliasing weird. I wonder if that's an emulator bug or the actual Nintendo 64 would do that. Hey, at least I didn't die this time. But yeah, you seeing that pink? Oh, it's just the inside of the platforms. Never mind. I wonder if that's a missing texture. Oh, we did have the Half-Life 2 anniversary update as well. The 20th anniversary. That's worth playing through. If you haven't played Half-Life 2's anniversary, give that a go. Seems more like fuchsia. I'm the kind of person who says everything is blue. My mom will be like, oh no, that's navy. Oh, that's like turquoise. Oh, I'm like, it's blue. It's blue. Hi, I would like to hit down on the D-pad and actually go down instead of diagonally, game. That's a tragedy.
Sir, the space station's airlock is open by turning off the 3 generators.
I'm not having a fun time. That was just me experimenting. But I'm not having a fun time with the Nintendo 64 controller D-pad recently. I haven't been complaining about the controller, but I'll just say that when I go down, sometimes he goes diagonal. Totally. I gotta blame the controller today. Oop. Oh, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, we're good. Yeah, it is a bit brutal that you have to do the whole like level part without copping a death. Like that, actually. The one time it doesn't work.
Sir, the space station's airlock is open by turning off the 3 generators.
I love the way that the texture just converges on a point, like down there. Oh, come on! Come on! I'm not having a fun time anymore.
The space station's airlock is open by turning off the 3 generators.
Listen, I like this game. I don't love it, but it does start with a Christmas level, and therefore that was the only reason why I particularly played it. It was all my downfall, basically. Am I like leaning away? Oh, come off. Okay, no, okay. Every time I tongue grab, I'm just terrified. Next time Scalar? Maybe. Next time Pandemonium.
I love a good Kubrick movie.
There we go. Maybe the trick is dedicate using the analog stick. Oh, I'm hitting down okay. What a bizarre final level though, given that all the other boss levels don't actually have levels associated. Oh! Am I just pressing the D-pad wrong? I'm just pressing the D-pad wrong, man, I swear. You see how he just went diagonally, like, ah. And for reference, I'm not using the same controller I was doing on the PlayStation one. I am properly using a Nintendo 64 controller on this. But, I think I may need a new one. Biendeo has gone through so many controllers this year, I swear. I have actually, like, gripped very hard a lot of controllers recently, and I'm like, ugh. From the 8BitDo Ultimate with the Joy-Con drift, to the Xbox controller at the beginning of the year. I had an Xbox controller, and I'm like, yep. D-pad just full died on that one. And then I got the new one, and the new D-pad is terrible. I don't think there's any good reason to get a regular Xbox One controller anymore. Can we make controllers that don't play like doo-doo? I should watch, like, DSP, just so I can, like, channel my inner DSP on complaining about when oh my gosh. I realize I haven't been hitting down very much, but there's something odd when I hit down. I'll just, like, go diagonally down right. Very odd. Not all the time, but sometimes. Also, this is me playing Gex with a D-pad. Yeah, you see that? How strange. That's gonna throw me off in the boss fight, isn't it? Maybe we'll dedicate using the stick. We'll use the stick with its weird lack of analog capability. But at least I can go down a bit more gently. The 8BitDo Ultimate. Yeah, I got a Ultimate 2C, and I'm enjoying it so far. It hasn't conked on me yet, so it's doing alright. I do like the Pro 2. The Pro 2 has been my jam. Nothing wrong with that one yet. I've got an M30. It acts a little weird with the USB, and it's sometimes a little iffy to get like the buttons mapped correctly. Like I've had times when you've got the M30, for some reason, the R button and the Z button will both detect as the same thing constantly. So here's a question: can we do this boss fight without taking a hit? Because that's a retro achievement, just for this version. Well, not at that rate. Who knows how to dodge that hit? I jumped way too early. I don't know. Like, it sometimes looks kind of early, and sometimes it's just like, nah, not at all. Like, that's fine. Hit there. He'll keep doing that attack, so I'll just keep seeing my attempts at it. Hi, aim straight. Analog controls, dang it. Oops. Oops. Still oops. I cannot explain why I'm playing so terribly all of a sudden. Nah, I don't know. And I'm probably gonna take like a loose hit from any of it. Listen, if I can dodge it, then that'd be cool. But we'll see.
Cut! Stunt Gecko!
Nope, I got no clue how to dodge that, I swear. Midnight Barrier is gonna be broken because Gex is demanding. Think about it, I was like, oh, you know, is this 4 streams or only 3 streams? And I was thinking, oh, it'd be 3 streams. And here am I, I've dragged 3 hour streams of Gex. I have continually drawn out the Gex gameplay as much as I can. 2025, New Year resolution. Only play games I'm good at. Those damn flies. Alright, I got a strat. Jump. Jump. Spin. Did you see that? Did you catch that? Did you catch that? Somehow? What? The spin causes you to dodge the other hand? I can't explain it. But sure. I'm gonna try it one more time. We learned it right at the end. That's it. That is totally it. No. Well, if the stream ends in the next, like, minute, technically we, didn't break the midnight barrier, but close enough.
Yes, we have a winner.
We have a winner. Oh, I can save in this version. So what's our Nintendo 64 ending?
Amazing! Absolutely amazing! You completed everything! Well done! I purchased Agent Extra and Mr. Gex tickets. for a long, relaxing cruise. Mr. Gex kindly offered me the use of his desert island. He thinks that he rescued Extra all by himself, but we all know that he couldn't possibly have done it without my help.
Oh.
Those jolly clever people at Crystal Dynamics and Crave Entertainment would like to thank you for playing. Mr. Gex and I will return soon. Ta-ta for now.
Dude, wait, what's with the clipping? What's with the passing the near plane on that one? What? We did it. That's it. Have a fly through because it's Mario 64. Also, it's Christmas Eve now for me. Yeah, we will return soon, yeah. Kevin Hokeman. Oh, someone on the cutting room floor wrote down that the credits cuts off immediately after... Hold on, there's a part on it. I've got the page open, like, right now, so I can just vet right now. Yeah, during the credits when it says special thanks, only one name is shown and then the game abruptly ends the sequence and goes back to the intro, and it says any proof the names get cut off and that the cut off names can be found in the ROM or shown in game somehow. So maybe if someone's digging through the code, try and find out if there's more names after whoever's special thanked at the end. The screen is so black, it's just like, I think they expected this to be quicker than it was. This sign is a massive downgrade from the PlayStation version. I appreciate they're just showing me where all the bonus coins are though. Yeah. I want it to be thanked on the Nintendo 64 version of... Have we seen this level already? Have we not seen this level already? We ran out of levels to do in our bonus... Our credits roll. Oh no, we're back. But yeah, what a neat little game. That's not a bonus coin. That's just the actual thing you meant to do. And you have to have done, right? And I know this one again. We keep showing this one. These credits are going to go by very slowly if we're constantly scrolling through people. Storm siren. Oh my gosh. Hopefully the storm passes pretty soon. A middle of the day storm as well. Kind of interesting. Lightning too. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, I don't have too much more to say about this. Gex is a peak 90s mascot. The game's alright. Island's been hit lately with some storms hard. Oh, jeez. I think we've got like some real incredibly good weather for the Christmas period for like we got the high 20s, high 20 degrees, sometimes 30. But like that's fine. If it's like 35, it's like it's sweltering, but it's nice and warm. A little bit of cloud. That is true, yeah. But like a little bit of cloud, no rain, and no like insane, heat, which I think is actually quite nice. Sonic Foundry Soundforge. Man, these credits are gonna keep going, I tell ya. That's so weird that they don't have enough to show off in this, like, in these credits. It's just mostly like, oh, well, here's a bonus coin that you probably already got, and then the screen's black, and then we're gonna show off some other place. Lead tester, Roll of Conlan, assistant lead, Do we have lead testers these days? Man, yeah, that's a long credit sequence. What if it's lead? Oh, lead as in metal. Maybe. As opposed to Lead Storm Rally 2011 lead. Billy Mitchell? Billy Mitchell? That's right, we're gonna cheat. His name was there. I assume that's just a common name. Multiple Billy Mitchells. Voice of Gex. Billiards Mitchelson. Can't believe they dubbed over her instead of her doing the voice in all these other languages. That's kind of fun that they had German and French languages in time, though. But yeah, other than that, you know, like, yeah, the Christmas season is very nearly upon us. It is Christmas Eve now. Yeah, true, rip Italian. French and German is usually the two common ones. Special thanks, here we go. Jeffrey Zwelling. You're right, it does just end right after Jeffrey Zwelling. Who knows? But yeah, other than that, that's Gex 3. You can hit the menu, but it's, I mean, you got nothing else to see. That's Gex 3. That's two versions of Gex 3. I've shown off everything. I hope you're all happy, but I don't know. That's my Christmas gift to you all, is to show off the Nintendo 64 exclusive features. Who knows? Maybe at some point later on we'll play the I don't think there's no secret stuff. I can show off that it at least has the remote on it. Hi, it's the same intro dialogue yet again. Do we have 50? We do have 50. Interesting. But yeah, no, I don't think there's anything. Like, best you got is the vault where you can enter your save. Sorry, your oh my gosh, I can talk. Enter your bonus codes, which for some odd reason, if you on the PlayStation version, if you change it to like literally anything, you change to the dinosaur character. Hi, I can't tell what I've selected. It's not flashing. But I don't remember the codes off the top of my head. So, oh well. But anyways, I think that's all. So, with that, thank you so very much for watching. If you enjoyed the stream, or you didn't enjoy it, or you really wish I got the flies quicker, you can follow on Twitch. Every 8:30 PM Australian Eastern Daylight Time on Mondays, except for next week. Yeah, finally we're done with Gex, yeah. And if you missed any of the VODs, they're all on YouTube, and if you're on YouTube, a subscribe would be cool. Lots of people have subscribed throughout the year as well, so thank you everyone who has subscribed this year, or subscribed in the past. That's all good. Thank you, fellas, very much. And yeah, you can follow me on the Fediverse, m.biendeo.com. I will say things from time to time. And yeah, no, that's it. That's all. The storm. Oh my gosh, the storm. So have a great holiday break. I will not be streaming next week, but we'll be back in 2025 for some new adventures, some old adventures, and a bit of in between. So peace. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year. Listen to that new 3776 album I didn't talk about this stream. Whoops. Peace.